a seat, make yourself comfortable. The first presentation is by Andreas and Gregory. They're joining us here from Switzerland, from Zug, and they've launched their project, and their project Grizzly.fi, we're going to find out about it. How to launch a project in rough conditions. As we know, it's a bear market, so they're going to share their story, and they're going to share their experiences. So can I please welcome the first presentation of the day, Andreas and Gregory. Can I have a small round of applause?
Hello, hello. Hello, test.
Hear you loud and clear. Over to you, Andreas and Gregory. Tell us your story. So you've launched a project this year, and you've had success already. You've already raised 26 million, right? And you're going to share how you've done that in a very difficult market situation.
So maybe to start off, I want to ask the crowd, so who in here themselves is a builder? Who is a founder? Who is building a project? Who is doing something? Okay, interesting. And who is already launched? Who's already live with the project? Okay. Everyone here? Kind of. Okay, I got you. So when we launched Grizzly.fi, there was a huge discussion. So, okay, should we go live with what we have now? Should we wait a little bit? The market, the winter, energy crisis. Is Bitcoin going to fall more? No one really knows. So we just took matters in our own hands. We just did it, and we kind of had success with it, and we really want to share this with you guys. We want to show you what we learned, what we have done right, maybe what we shouldn't have done, some mistakes from our side. So I hope that you can really take some benefit out of it.
And what's also very funny, 1 year ago it was only an idea or a concept on a paper. So we were sitting here 1 year ago in October, and we're like listening to all this presentation, and we had the dream also to stand here in front of you guys and talk about our success and our experience. So it's a real pleasure, and we are really proud to be here.
Give me 1 second. I need the clicker. Wait. The clicker? Thank you. Okay, let's go. How does it work? Okay. So I guess everyone is familiar with that. We are now in a very awkward position. I can remember like 2018, like right after the big 2017 rally, people were not really sure what's going to happen. And as we see here, the red circle in the beginning, we had one more flush. So Bitcoin went down to 6K, and it kind of looks, unfortunately, like this is going to happen again. So people are very scared. Exactly. So here as well, falling valuation. I don't have to talk about this. It's just painful. Okay.
Because what's also really funny, we had the idea in the bull market, and our idea in the head, or our, I think, mission was to educate people on. Our idea was to educate people to be prepared for the next bear market, because we are like since 2016, 17 in this blockchain space, and we have seen it all. So in our head was like, all right, we have to prepare the people and have to build a solution where people are like not losing money. So this is why then everything came different as we expected. We came into the bear market, and then it was the time to prove ourselves that the product is really function in the bear market.
So really quickly, who knows what Grizzly.fi is? Hands up. Who knows about it already? Okay, so there are some guys that don't. So really quickly, what is Grizzly.fi? Grizzly.fi is a DeFi protocol. We are focusing on making DeFi more accessible to everyone. I know there is a lot of projects that try to aim to do this, but we do it in a different way. We want to combine all the already existing protocols, make them easier, make them unified, and make them accessible through like branding, through story, and also through like a clean user experience. That's our goal. So you will see we are a very different type of crypto company. We have like a cameraman here. We're very big on social media. We try to show ourselves. We try to be relatable. So on our platform, what you basically can do, you can deposit your assets and you can do liquidity mining with them. So you can start earning an income on your existing cryptocurrencies, which we feel like is the future of banking. So instead of just having your cryptocurrencies sitting around doing nothing at all, like just dusting in front of your eyes, you actually send your cryptocurrency to work and you earn a residual and passive income on your existing cryptocurrency. So that's basically everything you need to know about Grizzly.fi.
And now we can show you a quick video with which platform or product we started, because our goal was to combine all big DeFi areas, and we started with liquidity mining, and we made it easy, as you can see in the following video.
So let's see if we can get the video. Yes.
As a crypto investor, you are aware of the cycles of the crypto market, and you try to time them the best possible way. Sometimes you get it right and win, sometimes you don't and lose. With Grizzly, you are able to create passive cash flow in any market situation, whether in a bull market or the upcoming bear market. But how exactly is the cash flow generated? As a liquidity miner, you provide liquidity to a decentralized exchange. This liquidity is used when someone wants to exchange one currency for another. The exchange fees, which are paid by the one exchanging, go directly to you, the liquidity miner, as a reward. But there are some stepping stones attached to liquidity mining. First, many platforms have complicated onboarding processes, which make it really hard for beginners to get started. Second, there are some risks attached to it, which can eat up the possible gains. And third, it can be time-consuming to maximize the profits. Those stepping stones hinder the technology from being widely adapted. Grizzly is a hub for liquidity mining, where liquidity mining is made easier, safer, and more profitable than ever. No more need to manage dozens of different platforms and perform complicated steps to enjoy the benefits of liquidity mining. With the one-click invest, Grizzly.fi introduces the most simple and straightforward onboarding ever. Participating is as easy as setting up a new iPhone, and with a friendly design and clean overview, you are always in control. How do you explain something difficult best? Through an analogy which puts the technical terms in a new perspective. You are a grizzly. With no natural enemies, you are relaxed and ready to invest. The bees, the smart contract of Grizzly.fi, are your assistants. They do all the heavy work for you. They take your cryptos to the hive and assure that money is made. The Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, ETH Zurich, published a paper about liquidity mining. They found out that the average miner makes around 0% gains at the end of the year, due to impermanent loss. This happens when one of the currencies in a pool loses value compared to the other. What their studies have shown is that mining with stablecoin pairs is the safest and, generally speaking, the most profitable way to generate a steady income out of liquidity mining. Grizzly.fi has put their studies at the core of their business and eliminated this risk for you. Like Warren Buffett said, rule number 1, never lose money. As a liquidity aggregator, Grizzly acts as a hub on top of existing platforms. This means you don't invest in Grizzly.fi, but you invest through Grizzly.fi. Your bees collect the rewards for you and automatically reinvest them daily into your hives, resulting in much higher rewards. This incentivizes other liquidity miners to move their funds to Grizzly, boosting the value of everyone that participates. Additionally, you benefit from receiving honey tokens, which increase in value as the platform is more used. So, all in all, Grizzly.fi brings liquidity mining to the people by making it much easier, safer, and more profitable. Earn money in every market. Visit Grizzly.fi for more information and start today.
Awesome. Man, I love this video. I've seen it like 100 times, but I love it. Every time I watch it, I feel happy.
The cycles of the crypto market.
So very quickly, I don't need to talk a lot about us. So we are a very diversified team. That's like the first step of launching a successful product. So a lot of people, they don't really care about the team. They just get together with some friends, okay, and let's go. It's really important that you have at least one technical guy in the team that can really talk to the developers, and so you're not reliable on outsourcing everything. Because if you don't have anyone in your team that you can trust, that has shares, and that really is invested basically into the company, and that doesn't understand tech, it's hard. It's going to be really, really hard. So that's the first thing.
And in our case, we have 3 techies. I mean, we have Andres, we have Leon, we have also Roman. Roman has an own app developer company with 65 employees. So we started with 3 techies, and me and Ollie and Elias, we are from the business side. So I think it's a perfect combination. Also, when you think about to launch your own company, think about diversification, because otherwise you have to buy it in.
All right. So very quickly, we don't, we are Swiss. We don't really like to talk about success. So we go through it very quickly. We had the biggest on-chain launch on the Binance Smart Chain in the history, even though it was in the deepest bear market, or still in the deepest bear market. So we had a very unique launch mechanism, which I guess will be very interesting to some of you guys to learn about in more detail. It's like our secret sauce, how we did it. And with this mechanism, we managed to raise $26 million in 72 hours. Everything fully decentralized, fully non-custodial, which is also very nice on the regulating side because, centralization and ICOs, some countries really don't like that. That's the first thing. The Honey token is still one of the most traded tokens on the Binance Smart Chain daily. We have daily volumes of $5 to $10 million every day, so you see that the platform is actually being used. And the last thing is we actually launched a second protocol just 48 days after, which is going to support the whole ecosystem, but we're going to get into details later. Oh man, I hate this thing now. There is even more. Okay, so we ranked on DeppRadar, all these listing platforms. Was really nice. We have a combined total value locked of $100 million. Again, in a bear market, this is really, really awesome. I could never imagine that it went like this. So it was really, really cool.
And I think what's also really outstanding is we have over 150 videos in 3 languages or even more languages about Grizzly. And I think until some weeks ago, we didn't pay anyone. So later we will talk about how to do this, how to manage this. But this gave us a big, big leverage because people sometimes come to us and say, hey, I see Grizzly everywhere. I get ads, I go on YouTube, see Grizzly, I go on events, I see Grizzly, I talk to people, I see Grizzly. And this is our secret sauce, which we are going to talk later about.
Also, I guess the biggest achievement that we had was not really the raise, but it was more the marketing thing that we did. So in general, in total, we collected 800,000 leads in about 3 months. So we had this campaign open for like 6-7 months. In the last 2 months, there were like 600,000 leads. And we're also going to share with you how we did that. Okay.
And I think before we talk about our secret sauce and how Grizzly.fi did this and what like hints we can give you for your project, I think Andres can tell you something about DeFi because, I mean, you see so many projects here and the most of them are in the metaverse, are NFTs, but we decided to pick DeFi because DeFi is in our eyes the best area in the crypto space right now with the most value. But I think Andres can tell you more about it.
I'm gonna make it very short because I'm sure you guys are nervous. You want the secret sauce. So very quickly, who is familiar with DeFi? Who knows about it? Who uses DeFi? Okay, less hands. And who is like invested and who is like building in DeFi? Okay, interesting, cool. So very, very quickly, we feel like DeFi is the future. We feel like DeFi is the logical next step for crypto. I mean, crypto started as a finance product, right? All these NFTs and metaverse things came later. Obviously, it's also very important and a really, really big part. But what we love about DeFi is that it's like building Legos. So when a company builds a new protocol, you can just go ahead, jump on it, and build on top of it. So it's a very, very collaborative ecosystem, and we feel like a lot of people, everyone talks about like non-bankable people or people who don't have a bank account. This is going to change a lot. So we believe that through simplicity and through ease of use, we can drive all this DeFi innovation forward. So that's everything I guess you need to know about why we picked DeFi. So, how did we do it? I guess the first part we already mentioned. The team, very important. You need a few techies in your team that really understand, because in the end, you are in the technology sector. This is not business. This is not, this is technology at the end. At the core, it's technology. So you need at least one guy who is in this field, who knows about the tech, who can really also guide developers and tell the developers, hey guys, that's trash what you're building, and knows this before. We have seen so many projects which have got totally wrecked because they hired some outsourcing agency and they were like, yeah, everything is fine, all good, we're moving, progress, and you don't understand it. You're like, yeah. He's a good guy, I know the guy, he would never lie to me. And then finally, due date is coming and the product is shit. And you need to be in control of that. So that's why you really need a tech guy in the team.
It's getting worse when you communicating the deadlines, and because of external partners you can make them. And what is also really interesting, we are 6 co-founders, and everyone, really exceptional, everyone told us, guys, it's going to be awful because it's too many people. Too many cooks can make the soup bad, right? But in our case, we had 6 people really dedicated. And I think our learning, or my learning, was better to launch with more people or to found with more people, because it's really hard to find employees who are dedicated as a founder. Yeah. And every one of us, 6 people, are working day and night, 1.5 years. And better to divide the cake in more pieces than to be greedy, or you have this saying, alone you can go fast, but together you can go further. So we really learned it, that it's better to have more people on board who are dedicated.
Yeah. So when you look at the product, I guess that's the biggest thing. So what are you actually building? What are you trying to do? And you really need to make sure that your product is building value. So we had so many ideas before we started. Should we do this? No. Should we do that? Should we do this? And we did a lot of research to make sure that there is no one out there that does what you want to do better. Because if there is already someone that does it better, why should you even try, right? Why should you even why should you even invest time and money into it? If you know that you can do it better, go for it. That's really, really important, because we see so many projects out there, and you look at them, you're like, yeah, how are you different to this? How are you different to that? What differentiates you there? And they can't really answer you. Yeah, we're better, and So really make sure that you build something that you can actually bring value to the market, because the market in the end is who decides if they want to invest in you or in someone else. So make sure to look at that.
And also the first priority has to be value, because there are so many people out there and so many projects who wants to make a quick buck, to earn a lot of money, but money is a consequence. We have so much fun creating and bringing value, because Grizzly also, maybe we can share 2-3 sentences about how Grizzly has been created, because 1.5 years ago we started with DeFi, and we saw it was so hard. And I mean, when you want to use, for example, Curve or also PancakeSwap, man, that's crazy. When you're a beginner, you have to have MetaMask, buy both pairs, stake it, LP tokens, switch networks, switch, I don't know, websites, and it's so hard. And we had this thought, why didn't anyone do it did it really easy? And so we had this Apple moment, because back then, Apple made the internet more accessible through their products. And we thought, hey, let's do the same with blockchain or DeFi to make it more accessible and more easy to use. So we saw a problem. And when you take a look at Grizzly, app.grizzly.fi, this is our platform, then you see we improved everything we wanted to improve back then when we started with liquidity mining or DeFi. So it's really from a problem. And we wanted to make the space more efficient and better and easy to use. So this is how Grizzly.fi came alive, basically.
Yeah, so we were very lucky that we had, or every time you start a business, you're solving a problem, right? So we were very lucky that this was the biggest problem that we had. We spent so much time using these platforms. We said, this can be done easier. Everyone can save a lot of time. So that's why we did it. Also, when you launch a project in crypto, so crypto has a lot of Ponzi mechanics, right? So it works when everyone gets in, it doesn't when people get out. So now you see in DeFi especially, you see the revolution of real yield. So when you do a project, be it a NFT project, a metaverse project, or a DeFi project, whatever, try to focus on building a product that people want to pay money for. And they don't just want to pay money for a token or an NFT that they think, oh, some idiot is going to buy it for a higher price later. That's not going to work. That's not going to work, especially now in rough times, because people are scared. People don't want to invest because people think, oh, maybe not everyone wants to invest now, so why should I buy an NFT? Why should I now buy a token? So really focus on generating revenue. That's very, 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 very interesting. If you cannot generate revenue with your project, now in a bear market, you're not going to succeed on the long run. So please make sure to focus on revenue generating.
And what's also funny, we always thought that in the bear market, no one wants to invest and people don't have money. But it's completely false, because I think people even have more money because they didn't spend it the last years. And I think people are like very conscious about their investments, and they're like really, really like searching for a project where they are not afraid to lose money again. So I think we can talk in the next slides about how to build trust, because this is the most important thing.
Yeah, that's good. Wait. Okay, that's the one. We have a little bit of a mix-up, but it's fine. So the biggest reason why because I was saying, okay, people don't want to invest in the bear market, all good, but still, we had the biggest on-chain launch ever in the history of the Binance Smart Chain. So what was different? And we feel like the big part of what went well was the marketing. Because as Grigori said, people are very picky. Because think back, when you were investing in like 2021, 2022, some guy sends you a link and you invest. I don't care what it is, I just invest. And maybe you're lucky, maybe you're not, but now you're very, very careful, like, okay, let me read the white paper, let me check the team, oh, do they have an audit? But in a bull market, you don't care. So you really need to make sure that you build a marketing strategy that builds trust with your community. So you need a really strong relationship. So what we have done is we focus on our native-speaking countries, right? So we are German, or we're Swiss, but we speak German, and we started producing content in German, right? People might say, okay, German, okay, 100 million people speaking German, that's like not very interesting. But still, we managed to build, I can say, like most of these 26 million came from German-speaking countries, about 70%. Now imagine, $20 million coming from German-speaking countries, insane, that's crazy. That's like as if every single guy in the world that speaks German invested 20 cents. It's crazy if you think about it. So focus on building trust by talking the language of your country. If you are from a country where, like, let's say Portugal, for example, don't be afraid to start your marketing in Portuguese, because people look at you and they're like, okay, wow, that's a guy that's my brother, you know, he's from my country. He went through the same struggles. It could be me, right? So you start building a deep connection with these people. So don't be afraid to start with advertising in your own country, because everyone is focused. Oh, I need to go to Asia. Oh, English. I need to go to whatever countries. They have no clue. They don't know the culture. They don't know the language. They have no clue. So start in a country where you feel comfortable with.
And I think also what builds a lot of trust is to be transparent and to be present. Because, I mean, tell me maybe 5 DeFi projects where you know the faces from. It's very difficult, because when we started, we wanted to reach out to this project, and we didn't find anyone. The people are hiding. And, I mean, I understand also why, because it's very, very dangerous. I mean, when the market drops, when your coin drops, when a hack or exploits happen, then you are like the silly guy where people are coming to the house and like are angry, right? So we had the choice, and we choose to go out with our faces and build trust and be present and be everywhere. Because people don't buy products, people buy people and visions. So we have to bring this vision to the people by telling them, by speaking to them. And they have to see us and they have to identify with us. And we are so many people, someone always can identify to someone. We have nerds, we have like Ollie who's running at a suit the whole day, he's sleeping in it. So, I mean, we have everyone you can relate to. And I think this transparency, everyone said this was also like the secret sauce. Because we took the people on an adventure. On an adventure to start an own business, to make an own project. And we documented every step, like really. And the people have the feeling, and this is crazy, the people have the feeling that it's their own project. Really, they're like, when someone happens or someone makes maybe a critical video about us, they're like flipping out, they're going crazy because they're like, how can you speak bad about my project? So it's crazy, and this is one maybe ingredient of the secret sauce.
So when you break it down, like when you want to be very, very specific, we wrote it down. So be clear when communicating your goals. We go to so many people reach out to us, send us their project. They're like, hey, can you have a look? In the first 5 seconds, I want to know what you're doing, right? There are so many websites, they speak about whatever, decentralization, and you have no clue what the hell they're doing. You're like, what are you doing? I don't have the whole day to go through your whole website to understand what you're doing, so be very clear about what you're doing. That's why we are very illustrative. So we have like silly animations and stuff, so even little kids, they understand what we're doing, right? So focus on that, and we learned it now. You build a community. Sometimes you wonder like, oh, there are people in the community, you're like, oh, like stupid, you know? Like they don't really understand it, so you really need to make it very, very as easy as possible so you can really explain it to a 5-year-old. Because everyone is saying, yeah, make it easy so your 5-year-old can understand it, but really focus on that. It's very, very, very important, and not too many projects do that.
And also our target group was like beginners. Yeah. And we are really proud to say that I think maybe over 50% of our whole community, especially from the German-speaking part, it was their first project. Yeah. And I mean, who lost money on their first investment? I did, and on the second and on the third. So we are really proud to say that people earned money in their first project where they invested from, because you know, it's really hard when you trust someone, you lose money, and then you're like, you don't want to deal anymore with this. And now people are there like building trust, and they're like seeing good in the space. And this is what we wanted to do, because the space is so cool and has so much value, but there are so many projects and people outside who are destroying the trust of the people. And we wanted really to restore it. And we're really lucky and proud that we could make it.
So, quick question here. Who knows Gary Vee? Okay. I love this guy. I'm a big, big fan, and we also incorporated a lot of his strategies into our project. So he's a content guy, right? If you know, like, if you've seen 5 seconds of his content, you know, he's pushing. You need to produce content, talk about what you're doing, and that's exactly what we did. Like, when other projects, they do like an update, for example, a weekly update. How do most of them do it? They send a huge Telegram message that no one really wants to read. You see emojis and stuff, it's cool structured, but no one cares about it, right? Or
or an AMA where someone sits in their like living room and speaks to the people with bad light and a bad camera. I mean, how can you build trust when people can see you, right? And don't have the feeling that you are like near to them. So we have like an own studio, we have a green wall. Every video which we take is with Grizzly behind us. And I mean, regarding Gary Vee, this is our videographer, and he's following us every step, is filming us, because later on in the evening, he's like seeing all this material and taking out reels. And every day is coming a new reel of us talking to people. And sometimes, for example, yesterday we have been on an event, and Brian Rose from London Reel has been there. I was taking him, making an interview with him, and he was filming it. So another content, you know? So this is why you have to be always present and a content machine, because this is how people like going to trust you.
Yeah. So to quickly come back about this update thing, I guess that was a really, really big part of what we did right. Again, people do these Telegram messages and stuff to update their community. Hey, development is going great, blah, blah, blah. New exchange listing coming very soon. What we do is we take our smartphone like this, and we do a video like, hey guys, look, we're doing this, development is going great, we're doing this, and people relate to you. You're a human. Finally, there is a human in this blockchain space building something, not a robot, right? Not a Telegram bot, not a Twitter account posting stuff. Be transparent, show your face. Don't be scared. I mean, we're not the most beautiful guys out there, but we still do it, you know? Just do it. Just go out and record content and be transparent about what you do. It's very important.
And also the ads, when we make ads, it's also with a video, or it's like very naturally, because I mean, otherwise it's just like everyone is doing it. But when you do it really naturally, it's like a friend talking to you, or someone you know and you can feel related. So I think everything is really psychological. Yeah. So if you like dealing a bit with this, and also with all the stuff, how people can build relationships, in which scenarios, like you coming further to create a really strong community.
And don't be scared to be yourself. Maybe you see it now, or maybe you feel the energy, but I don't really care about what you guys think about me, right? I just say whatever I think. Maybe I use a swear word every now and then, you know? Yeah. We don't really care. You have to be yourself. We had a lot of discussions, actually.
I'm the compliance grizzly. I have to like, oh, don't say this, cut it out.
Yeah.
But now every one of us, and this is also very good, like hint for you, create characters. Because every one of us is really different. And Andres is different, and he has his own like content. I have my own content. And we are like going to be not Grizzly, but we are real people, and people follow people. So then they're coming to Grizzly and see, oh, they have a cool product. So we are trying also to inspire people, because we are not special. We are not from a rich family or from a entrepreneur family or something like that. We are like also like users of the crypto space, and we just started, and this is why we're not special. We are like everyone else. I think when we can make it, everyone can make it.
Definitely. So let me quickly check if we don't forget anything.
The last point.
So when we were talking before, I was mentioning this 800,000 leads machine, right? So maybe quickly what we did. So we set up a giveaway. So shout outs to Stan in the back and Elias, the guy in the white and the guy in the black shirt, our marketing guys. They had this great idea to start a giveaway. So you think now, okay, giveaway, that doesn't sound like very interesting. Everyone does a giveaway, but we did it in a little bit of a different way. So we used a platform, and if you want to know the name of the platform, you can come to us and ask us. We can give it to you guys. So this platform is very special. You can create tasks there. So you can say, okay, you want to win something? Give us your email address. Good. Step one. They go to the next page. Okay, you follow us on YouTube, you get 2 points. You follow us on Twitter, you get 2 more.
It's like a lottery.
Exactly. You refer a friend, you get 5 points more. And then there is like a leaderboard. So everyone knows, where am I? Am I like number 1, number 10, number 100, number 1,000? And we say, okay, randomly 100 people are going to win a huge prize. And if you're launching a token, you can allocate a quite nice amount to this giveaway. You can give it to them, because it really needs to be something aspirable. So with us, our giveaway, believe it or not, we gave away, how much was it? Like $2.5 million.
No, I think more, because it was the biggest giveaway in the crypto history. Yeah, because our token just like skyrocketed. We didn't expect that. So the giveaway was then, I don't know the exactly number, but it was over 2 or 3 million in a giveaway. Yeah, because we raffled it out when the token was at the peak, and at that moment we raffled 10,000 tokens worth $200 and something, or even 300, I don't remember, 300 actually, and so it was a $3 million giveaway. 100 people win, so everyone wins a small car. $30,000 just for referring friends, just for liking a YouTube video, and you can update these tasks. You can say, okay, we're listing on CoinMarketCap, go and like that.
So you build yourself an army of people, and they do it because they like you, but also they do it because they're also selfish and they want to win this giveaway, right?
And
so
people love stuff for free. They love it.
Yeah.
They really, they will do everything.
So we, like shortly before the giveaway ended, we had times we got 10,000 followers a day, 10,000 the next, 10,000 the next, 5,000. It was insane. So really make sure to leverage such a technology and use the psychology of people, because everyone likes to win something, and especially when you have like something like a referral program, it can go viral very fast.
And people love to talk about things they like, and especially when they're invested. So incentivize this when they want to talk about it. Yeah. I think what's also really big point in our success story were the right partners and advisors. Because when we started, we knew no one from the space or from the DeFi space especially. It was so hard to find people, and yeah, we made a lot of experience now, and we have now one of the best partners and advisors in the space. We are really proud, and maybe I can give you some like experience or share with you some experience how we did this, or what you should consider.
Yeah, because advisors can be a big leverage, right? I mean, we mostly like founders are young, they're focused on tech, they're like very busy with what they do. But it's always nice to have like an outside view that, hey, I know this guy, I know that guy, I can connect you with these guys. So yeah, Grigory can share how he got these advisors on board.
Yes, because I mean, the most important thing is to start. Because I mean, when you go to advisors or to partners and you say, oh, I have an idea, but I don't know, can you help me? I mean, come on. That's not going to work, because these advisors, they have stuff to do, and they're only advisors. I think also you have to fix your expectation, because an advisor is not a founder. An advisor is not an employee. An advisor is only there to ask the right question and direct in the right way and maybe connect with the right people. So when you're searching for advisor, you have to have a fixed idea. Maybe you have already launched or already like put in structure to everything, a construct, and then you can talk with them. And also it's very important to define what you need and what you want, because in our case, we asked ourselves, okay, what is the most valuable thing in this space? And the most valuable thing is technology. So we focused on people from the technology space. And we were really lucky because in Zurich we have the university, and we have found people who are doing their doctor, their diploma, or are professors in the blockchain security space. And we convinced them to be our advisors. And one of our advisors, also Daniel Gretzky, he was at Inacta. This is the biggest blockchain consulting in Switzerland. He decided to be our advisor. He's now the tech lead of Polygon, and he's still our advisor. But back then, he also gave us the idea for the launch strategy. Yeah. So we focused really on technology, because, I mean, marketing you can buy, or sales you can buy, but technology, I mean, it's hard to find good developers. It's hard to find people who understand the business logic. Yeah. So we focused on that, and we made everything right. We're really happy about this. And also, I think what's really important is be present on the socials, to be like social proof. Because, I mean, it's hard to find these people, and you can only find them through other people. And when you have like a good profile and people see who you are, they're like more likely to work with you. I think this is really important. And yeah, go to relevant places and events. I think all of you guys can ask us afterwards and talk to us, because we did the same. We were like really straightforward, coming to people like, hey, let's talk about it, let's connect. And I think that's the most important thing in this space.
So to quickly sum up, focus on or have an advisory roadmap. In the beginning, you want tech, right? When you don't have a product, you want a tech advisor, someone that you can show the product to. Hey, does it make sense? Maybe someone who can help you to step up the development environment, everything like boring tech stuff. You need someone who really knows about it. Security, please get a security advisor. The crypto space can be really dangerous, really harsh. There are big assholes out there that just want to steal your money, that want to harm you. So make sure to get a security advisor as well. And later you can focus on, okay, I need an advisor that can give me funds, that can help me with fundraising, help me with marketing, all of these things. But first you need a tech advisor. So you need to have a roadmap. The second thing, which I had to learn, which was like the most difficult thing for me, because I get excited very fast, you know. I meet a person, I'm like, whoa, this is like the coolest guy ever, you know, we need to talk with him. You know, I get very excited very fast. So again, fix your expectations, make sure that you know, okay, it's just an advisor. He's not gonna run your business, he's not gonna, you know, move the world just for you. It's just an advisor. And also make sure to really define what you're looking for, because if you're giving a guy your valuable tokens, you also need to make sure that you're getting some value in exchange for that.
And also, the first advisors, for example, Stan, he started as an advisor, and he's the craziest growth hacker I ever seen in my life. He's also responsible with Elias for this huge, huge lead generating machine. And he started as an advisor, is now a team member. And also Christian Killer, he's doing his PhD in blockchain security. He started as an advisor, as a team member now, and he's doing everything. Every deployment, he's like, you can call him anytime, 24 hours, and when the platform is down or something is happening, he's like ready.
He's a poor guy, he always has his laptop with him. Like, you call him, he's in the car, okay, I will stop. No joke, he was once on a motorway, on a highway, and he had to stop on like this small little line next to it to fix something on the website. So make sure to get good people also as advisors.
Especially on security side, because we have now hundreds of million total value locked, and there are so many people outside who want to steal your funds and to attack you. So we are getting attacks every day on the website, on Telegram, on the smart contract. So you have to have good people.
Yeah. So let's see, what's next? Okay, wow. Okay, so the next thing is the launch strategy. So we told you guys we raised 26 million in 72 hours. And how did we do it? First of all, we had to ask ourselves the question, how do we want to launch, right? So you have two very prominent ways how projects launch. You have the fair launch mechanism, which is like a lot of DAO and really, really nerdy DeFi projects. They do it like that. They want to be fully decentralized and first come, first serve. And most of the time that's fine for those types of projects because they don't have strong marketing, right? So they can just deploy their smart contract, go live, and then it slowly starts to pick up, which is great. But we already had this lead generating machine. People in the Telegram community were talking about sniper bots. Oh, I have the best sniper bot. You know, people got scared. So we were like, oof, we need to do something. The second way people launch is launchpads. Launchpads, IEOs, all of that stuff. It has its pros, but also there you have the issue that, you get a lot of people that you don't want. You have people that constantly stay on these launchpad sites. They're just looking for the next cash grab. Oh, I can invest in this token, get out again, here, get out again. So you attract the wrong type of people. And we didn't really want to give benefits to people who are not in the community, right? I mean, we have built this community from the bottom of our heart. It was a lot of energy, a lot of ideas, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And we want to give them something. We want to give them the best value possible. So we have chosen another way of launching. So very quickly, how did we do it? On a technical side, we basically wrote a sniper bot. So who doesn't know what a sniper bot is? Who doesn't? Okay, so a sniper bot is a piece of code that tracks the blockchain and just waits until it can buy, right? Because a computer is always faster than a human, right? As a human, you have to click, and then you're in, and the sniper bot is just like, boom, in. So what we did is we built a huge sniper bot for everyone. So it's a sniper bot that people can invest in. So they can invest their funds into this bot, and this is the place where, in the end, the $26 million landed. So they landed in this bot, in this smart contract, and we waited 72 hours, and what then happened was quite interesting. So we created a liquidity pool on PancakeSwap, which is like the first place where people can buy and sell the tokens. So on a decentralized exchange, you always have to provide your token and something else, so people can buy and sell again. And we created this pool, and then this big sniper bot with the $26 million in it went and bought into this pool, and the token went skyrocket. So we provided about 500,000 into the initial pool, and with 26 million, it would have been, or 26 million would have been used to buy. If we would have done that, the token would have went up to about the valuation of $4 billion, which is insane. So we didn't do that. We only took a small part of the money. Bought, and then we got a huge amount of tokens back, right? Huge amount of tokens back. We took these tokens, paired them with the rest of the money, and provided liquidity back. So to this day, we still have $25 million of liquidity, which is just sitting there, owned by nobody. It's just for the protocol. So you have a huge issue with liquidity, right? And we solved it with that as well. So we used about $3 to $4 million to buy on the market, actually, and 22 million to provide liquidity back, which makes it a lot easier now. So basically, people bought the token with low liquidity, pumped the price, and then you provide liquidity back, and you have like a very deep liquidity on a decentralized exchange. I know it's very complicated, very technical. So if you really are interested in how we did it, you can just come up to us, ask us, or you can reach out to us on social media, Telegram, Twitter, and so on. But that's just like a quick summary of how we did it. Exactly.
And also we created social proof, because in this huge sniper bot, you could see every day how many people like investing and how much money is inside. And we had high tickets, people investing millions from the first minute. So other people got FOMO, like, all right, this is working, I'm also going to invest. And when we closed it at 26 million after 72 hours, in a second, every second, like thousands of dollars came flying in. So I think when we would open it for like 4 or 5 days, we could collect it 50 million or even more, because the people got really FOMO after like 20 million, 23, 25. The people went crazy.
I guess one thing that's also important for you guys to know is the big promise that was made in this sale was that you invest $1, you're gonna get $3 back. So how could this happen? So when you buy on a decentralized exchange, you always have slippage, right? So you buy and you move the price. So when you have a lot of money, you're moving the price exponentially in the right direction. So if we didn't make this split up between we buy and we provide liquidity, people would have gotten like 1,500x or something, like insane. Like they invest $1, they get 1.5K back. That's why we did this second round where we provided liquidity back. And people invested $1 and got $3 back. This is also one thing we would change, to be honest. Maybe we would do only a 2x instead of a 3x, because you saw a huge run-up. The token launched at $200 or something, $150 million of market cap.
But technically, it launched at 50 cents. So the token was from 50 cents to $300, and now it's around $60.
Yeah,
so in the bear market.
Yes. So the token, as he said, launched at 50 cents with like our initial liquidity that we provided. Then we bought, right? The token shot up to $200 approximately, and the average price that people got was about $68. So everyone made a 3x. The token went up skyrocket to $300. We didn't understand what was happening. Everyone just wanted to buy this token as well. And then now it corrected down again. So now we're approximately again at the entry level of the people. So about $60, $68. So now it's been a healthy correction, and we can now start to move back up higher.
And what's really funny, when people are trusting the project, they are not only invest, they are going to like freeze it as well. Because we offered the people to freeze the token afterwards to get a higher APY. And now I think we have a supply of 700,000 tokens. I think 320,000 tokens are freezed. So like over 20 million or 24 million in dollars is freezed from a market cap of over 50 million. And this is crazy for half a year. And we are really proud of this, that people trust us so much that like almost the half of the tokens are freezed.
Yeah, so let's see what have been like big challenges. I guess finding right employees is always hard, especially when you get excited about everyone you meet, and you're like, oh, so we want to hire them. In the end, you find out, oh, he's not that great, you know. So be careful, right? Be careful. Always, also when you hire tech people, make sure that the tech guy does the interview, because they can spot a bullshitter very, very fast, and you might not. He will say fancy words, you'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds smart, and you hire him, but in the end, he has no clue. So really make sure that a tech guy interviews tech people to hire.
And this is crazy. There are agencies outside who are like focusing on scamming you, because they're just regular people who learned a little bit about DeFi, and in the first interview, they're like, you think they have an idea what they're talking about, and then you employ them, they work 1 month, but they don't do anything, and then you're like, what the heck is happened here? Then you like fire him, but he made this 1 month, and this is their business model. So this is why every interview we had like technical peoples, and these interviews were the most awful one in my life or in his life, because when they ask like direct technical question, the other people, they're like getting really like, oh, fuck, I'm like, now I'm like, they know about my plans to scam you. So be really careful, and because we had such problems to find good developers, we have founded an own like agency. It's called Block Lancers. It's like Fiverr or freelancers, where we are like finding the right developers and give it to a good project. And it's also successful. It's like a side project, and we created it also like from a problem that it was hard to find good developers.
Yeah, so really focus on quality. I mean, everyone is saying, oh, it's so hard to find these devs. It is hard, but don't do the compromise with quality. Always focus on quality, really, because when you find good people, make sure to keep them, but make sure to find like high quality ones. That's one thing. Security, of course, we were very lucky with our security advisors. So not every project has like a crypto security PhD guy in the team who can support it, who works as if it's his own project. So yeah, make sure to not only get audits, because we also made the experience that some audit companies, I don't want to say any names, are not really focusing on really checking the contract. It's more about, okay, who has what stamp. In the end, it's marketing. Most audits is marketing. So make sure to also work with white hat hackers. For example, we have we have an army of like crazy Russian hackers, like as you imagine, like sitting somewhere in their basement, hacking other companies. We give them the contract, multiple of these guys. They check it, and they really check it for security, because they don't care. You don't get a report, right? You don't get like a fancy logo. They don't have a fancy website. They don't do marketing. They just care about security. So make sure to do that, especially when you're in DeFi. You don't want to be responsible for other people losing money.
And also, the I think biggest problem is not the security of the smart contract, but it's the business logic, because this is why the most exploits happen. And you need people who are focusing on business logic, who understands everything, and also like minting tokens. Because I mean, every good project which we know was like hacked or exploited. So really find people, because when you do an audit, they don't look at the business logic. They only look at the smart contract, and it can be secured, but when like the interfaces and also the logic is not like well thought through, then you have a problem.
I think a good comparison is that an auditor checks the house from the outside, like how does it look like? Oh, the wall, oh, there is a small crack there, you know, but the auditor doesn't really go inside most of the time. Of course, there are good auditors as well. You need to get an auditor that really goes inside, checks the cables, checks everything, so to really make sure that yeah, everything is working. Because when you talk about, okay, business logic fails, it's as if the door was put on the wrong side, you know, like things that you don't see from the outside, you only see when you actually go into the house, open the doors, and really use the protocol. Very important. The other thing is handling a big community. I mean, that was one of the things that made us successful, building a big community and having people in there 24/7 who are not just like, you don't just hire like micro workers, like guys you pay 50 euros a day, or no, not a day, but you pay 50 euros a month that are in the community texting with people. You also need the high quality people, like some of the founders, some of the core team that are constantly monitoring the chat. I know everyone thinks, oh yeah, my time is too valuable, I cannot check the chat all the time, but that's where you get the feedback. That's where people complain, that's where people celebrate, that's where people talk about new ideas. And if you are not in there, you have no idea what's happening, and the community is the most important thing ever. So make sure to have people in there. Also take some time out of your day. Check the messages, check who's texting there, check the problems. You might like touch your hand, think like, oh man, these stupid questions, but they are important because those are the guys. If you convince them, if you convince also the critics, right? We had so many critics doing whole YouTube videos about us, like 50 minutes, like going through everything, like, oh, this. You also learn, hey, where am I not clear enough? Where have I made a mistake maybe, you know? And really approach them. And I can tell you so many scenarios where we had a big hater, a big critic, now he's the biggest supporter. Yeah. The biggest critics always become the biggest supporters, so keep that in mind. It's very exhausting, but you have to do it. What else?
Yeah, and I think meeting the deadlines. Yeah. This is also like a very, very tough one because no one from us was from the software development. And I mean, in the software development, you can be really frustrated because things doesn't work.
If the developer says 1 month, it's going to take 2 months. Just calculate with that.
Or the deployment is going to be at 1 p.m. and then it takes maybe 4 hours more, but the community is waiting and making pressure on you. So I think we learned a lot.
Yeah. Make sure to like have appropriate deadlines. That's really important, especially when you communicate them. So disagreements in a team. I mean, when you look at the statistics, there are more businesses failing because of disagreements in a team than like with any other thing. So make sure to be nice to each other. Make sure to also be open. Everyone, I mean, especially when you're a big team, there are disagreements, 100%. It cannot only be roses and nice, you know. You cannot only always love yourself or love each other. So there will come times where you have disagreements, but always make sure to be respectful and to approach this thing from a very, make sure that you think it's important, because it is very important.
Yeah, and also like unstable market situation, because this is the reason why the most projects don't want to launch. But in our head it was different, because when we launched, we didn't have anyone launching. So the whole focus was on us. And this was a big, big benefit. Now, afterwards, you can say it.
And as I mentioned before, to be able to launch in such like harsh conditions, you need to make sure to have a business model, you need to make sure that you make revenue, and you need to make sure that you don't need money. Because when you need money, you start to approach shady people, like people come up to you, especially, I mean, Dubai is the place, you know, you have a lot of people that do this, you know, everyone knows and everyone can talk very much. So make sure that you are funded and that you have a revenue generating model. Very, very important.
And I think what's also important to be flexible with everything, because you get a lot of feedback from the community, from the market, from everyone, and you have to listen to it. And sometimes you have to stop being stubborn, because maybe in your head you think you're right, but the market gives you another feedback, or the community, so you have to follow the people or the situation who is like going to lead you to success, because they are buying your product, they are deciding if you are successful or not. Put your ego down, and also like be transparent about failures, because we also made like mistakes, and we said it to the community, sorry, we have now reconsidered it and we are doing it different now, and people love it. And I think that was the biggest learning, to like put the ego down and not think that you are always right, and like listen very carefully.
Yeah, definitely. So that's most of the inputs that we have. We would really love to show you a little bit what we have built, what we have done. Just a quick showdown, what have we done in the past couple of days, past couple of months actually. as you can see, this is the Grizzly.fi ecosystem. Our biggest advantages to other DeFi projects is that you have a very easy way to invest. You have optimized returns with auto-compounding, very interesting tokenomics. So if you're a little bit of a tokenomics nerd like I am, you will love the Git book, docs.grizzly.fi. Also, we're aiming to be the hub, right? So you have hundreds of different platforms coming out every single day, and we're trying to combine everything under one belt, unifying the investment process and making sure that people don't need to learn new things, right? So they can always stay with us, they can trust us, they can work with us, they can invest with us, and they don't need to go to anyone else. That's very important. So what else? Exactly, this is the big headline that everyone is talking about, the 26 million in 72 hours. This is how the platform looks like, so it's a very unique design. We try to be very playful again, because when you look at existing crypto projects, they always look a little bit intimidating, right? You have the numbers and the graphs and all of these things, so we're trying to take out a little bit of pressure and make it look like a game, right?
And they look all the same, like a pancake swap copy, like a copy-paste, and we designed it from scratch completely.
This is the freezer that Grigori was talking about. So it shows again that the community really trusts us, really is into us, and they believe in us long term. So over 50% of the total supply is frozen now for the next 6 months, which gives us also, and gives the price, the valuations, a little bit of time to relax and to build, right?
Sometimes you make fun that the token is a stable coin because it doesn't move much, but the volume is like 5 million a day, but it doesn't move really.
And that's the other thing that we did. So that's in the beginning we were saying, okay, only 48 days after the initial Grizzly.fi release, we released a second platform. So our goal is to not only be able to be the easiest way of investing into DeFi, but also the most profitable one. And one thing that we believe will be a huge driver of volume, transactions, and total value lock will be leverage, right? So imagine when people can borrow money to invest into stable yield-generating assets. So things like you can yield farm USDC against USDT. They will not go up, they will not go down, they're stable. You will not get liquidated, right? So what if you leverage that 2-3x? And to be able to leverage things, you need a stable coin. So what did we think? Okay, there is like hundreds of stable coins pegged to the US dollars. We are Swiss, so what we built is we built the first fully decentralized platform with a stable coin pegged to the Swiss franc. And this is going to be used as a leveraging driver in the Grizzly.fi ecosystem. And besides that, I mean, the Swiss franc has proven itself time and time again to be the most secure and stable currency in the world. Now you have like problems with the US dollar. You might have China flipping the US. You have a lot of uncertainty. Who knows what's going to happen in the next coming years? But what we know for sure is that Switzerland is going to stay safe, stay neutral, and that's why we also feel like this Swiss franc stablecoin can also bring a lot of new opportunities to the space. So let me give you some impressions.
And also this platform just launched 2 weeks ago and has already a total value locked over 40 million. So this is also a cool thing. We took the community from Grizzly and put it to the new platform, and they got an airdrop from the platform token. So when we started, we had immediately like a user base of thousands of people. And this is also a secret. When you build a successful project, the next project which you build, I mean, the people are going to love it. And when they made money in the first project, they are sure that they are also like trusting you with another project.
And the thing here is what's very interesting and what I feel like is very crazy is that here people deposit Bitcoin and Ethereum to the platform and mint the stablecoin, right? So they create the stablecoin, and we have like 1,000 Bitcoins on there, 15,000 Ethereum, which just lay there in this ecosystem waiting to be leveraged. So just to sum up, because it's not really two different projects. I know the branding is different because we feel like the Swiss stablecoin can be maybe bigger than Grizzly. We don't know, and it would be weird to have like a Grizzly Swiss franc. So we said, okay, it's the DeFi franc, right? but the DeFi franc is very essential in the Grizzly.fi ecosystem. It's going to be used as a leverage mechanism, as I said before. So with the DeFi franc, with Grizzly.fi, people can borrow against yield-generating collateral and leverage yield farms. So this is going to be a huge volume and leverage factor here. Exactly. So what else do we have? Exactly. You can borrow, as I said. And I guess that's it. We went through everything. Yeah. Do you have any questions? I mean, we've talked now for
almost 1.5 hours.
Yeah. So congratulations, and
you made it.
Yeah, you made it. You made it. If you have any questions, maybe feel free to raise your hands. We can give you a microphone if you want to ask something.
Yes, now or later.
Thanks to you. Very interesting talk. Very much value. Thanks a lot. It's also interesting for us to learn from you guys. I have one question. If you had to decide between meeting a deadline and meeting a quality standard, if you have to make this decision, you see, okay, something doesn't work, it's not like you expected it to be, and now how do you decide? Because we have followed the project and we know you also had to move a few deadlines that can happen. Do you regret that, or would you say, okay, let's just move it again and meet the quality standard?
I think that's an amazing question, and we had the situation several times. And I think what's very important is, at the end, your platform has to work and has to be secure. And this is the highest priority.
Yeah.
So I think now, in the end, the best case, what we are doing now and also did afterwards we learned, is to be really, really like honest. First, don't communicate deadlines, only give like approximate deadlines, like, okay, this could be in this month, but please don't take it too like serious.
Better quarter, like a month is already very specific.
Yeah, and then when you can't meet them, just be honest, because I mean, people know that we are not roboters and we are not perfect, and we are communicating like this, like, hey, we are just regular guys trying to build something like valuable. Yeah. Please be not too like harsh to us. Yeah. Like, try to give us the chance to make something really good, and help us with this.
And also, as a founder, you always know how the project is going to look in the end. So you're trying to make it as close as possible. And to be honest, we over-engineered. We could have released like a year ago a very simpler version and just be out, which maybe would have been better. Now we don't know. Now we can stand here in front of you guys, talk about the successful launch. It was great, right? But maybe if I would do something different, I would focus on releasing the minimum viable product. Don't try to build the product that it has to become in a year. Give yourself time, and also give the community time to test it out, to start from the ground up, right? I mean, it's also cool for people to know that, hey, I've been using this project since like it didn't have this feature, it didn't have that, it didn't have that. Give people something they can work with, and don't try to release the final product. So make sure it's secure, make sure it works, make sure it doesn't have too many bugs, and go out.
And better done than perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. So other questions?
Yes. Tell me, where do you think Grizzly.fi is going to be in 2 years from now? Where are you going to be? How is the market going to evolve?
Yeah, so first of all, I mean, we hope that the market will recover. We hope that in 2 years, maybe times will look better. So in the meantime, we relax, we build, you know, we don't care about all the crazes. We don't do a lot of pressure on us. We just build, we focus, we lock ourselves in the office. I mean, at least when we're not in Dubai, we lock ourselves in the office and just build. And the goal here is to build the easiest, most reliable, and most profitable DeFi platform out there. We are now also in contact with institutions. So obviously, Grizzly.fi is a retail product, but we really believe in institutional investors. Since we are from Switzerland, the country of banking, the country of finance, we aim to create a liquidity mining ETP and allow institutions to invest into decentralized finance.
And also what we are doing, we just go further and further, and we are building. And I mean, no one knows what's going to be in 1 year, in 2 years, because I mean the innovations, they are coming so fast. And we are really flexible. We have so many resources, good developers, good designers, and we can react really quickly to the market. If someone invents something really good, really nice, we make sure that we copy it and make it more easy and accessible and more fun to use. So this is also learning. You don't have to invent a wheel again. You just have to improve everything what's already there. And this is already a huge adventure and can get a lot of like impact to the space.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 5 or 10 minutes left before the next presentation. Any other questions? We have some questions at the back. Abdul.
Hey, hi. So, a very beautiful presentation. I just want to know, like, how exactly, as a customer point of view, as a user, when I'm going to invest on your platform, what is the benefit I would be getting? And secondly, which blockchain you're exactly forking here? Any kind of infra you're using where a person can trust, because there are typical EVM-based chains, let's say Polygon, Binance, and Avalanche, all those blockchains where I have more trust. Why should I trust your platform? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, so we are based, first of all, on Ethereum and Binance. On our platform, the main benefit is ease of use. So we're not targeting the crazy nerds that have been in the space for like 10 years and know everything already. They can do their things on their own. So we are focusing really on onboarding new customers, new people. We have been audited multiple times, so we take security very, very serious. And basically, we are a protocol sitting on top of other platforms. That's what Grigori was saying. When someone comes out with a new idea, a new way of generating yield in the market, we sit on top. We're like an octopus, like, you know, we stick to them, we aggregate, we use our existing community, our army, send them to them, send funds there, you know, so we can sit on top and generate yields for people.
That's why we always say the Grizzly, he doesn't have natural enemies.
That's
because
true.
He doesn't have to fight for like a piece of the market share, because he's helping to grow the whole market.
And what is the rewarding mechanism here? Like when I'm going to invest on your platform, what kind of rewarding? Have you launched your own token as well? Yeah. What is the typical tokenomics here? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to go in very much detail, docs.Grizzly.fi, Gitbook, you will read about everything. It will be very, very nice.
We have so many YouTube videos and...
Exactly, but to sum up, so since we are aggregating other projects, you get the yield that you would be getting there, but auto-compounded. And what we do is some part of the revenue is taken away, used to buy back the token and distribute to stakers. So we incentivize long-term holders. Some part of the staking reward is real yield, so we collect fees, give it to the stakers, and we also, since we're in growth mode, we also mint some tokens, so you have some inflation as well, but long term there will be no minting anymore, only real yield, only focusing on transactions, on transaction costs, and so on and so forth.
Because then we can also survive and make progress in the bear market. Because take a look at Uniswap, they are not minting one token, and they are the most successful platform, and we are moving in this direction.
But just one more thing, since Ethereum and Binance, both are having a very high gas fee. Why not Polygon? Because Polygon is again an extended version of Ethereum only, but with a negligible gas fee.
Are you from Polygon?
Okay. Don't worry.
No, it's a good question. Actually, Polygon would be one of the next logical steps. So we focus on an existing DeFi ecosystem, right? So since we are this octopus that is touching all the other projects, aggregating them, we need to be where the DeFi ecosystem is, right? So we see, okay, Binance has a very interesting DeFi ecosystem. Of course, Ethereum has the craziest one. And then what's coming next? It's Optimism, Arbitrum, and Polygon. So these are the ones that we are going to focus on next. So don't worry, sir, it's coming.
Great. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Did you get your question answered? Hello? Did you get your question answered?
Yeah, I got my answers.
Happy?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy.
Good. So one more question before we finish. Somebody else. I'll ask Gregory then and Andreas. Have you enjoyed your time here then today?
It was awesome. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous in the beginning, but you guys were really awesome. Love talking to you guys. So if you have anything to share to us like privately that you don't want to raise the hand and ask a question, just come up to us. We're normal guys. And you also see more people with Grizzly shirts. So there in the back is someone. There you have Stan. There in the back, beautiful guy, Tom. And there are many more here in this area. You can talk to us. It's not just
Yes,
Grigori
don't
and
be
me.
shy.
Can
Awesome,
tell they're
thank
not
you.
very shy, correct? So thank you very much, Andreas and Gregory. Round of applause, everybody. First presentation of the day. Okay, we'll take a photograph and then we'll move on to the next presentation. So gentlemen, come this way and we'll take a picture here. And then we will get Mohammed Salman to get ready to come on next. Okay, our next presentation will start in a second or two. Mohammed Salman, please come on down. So Mohammed, I will give you the microphone in a second. Can we have the clicker for Mohammed? Just make sure you're ready. So while we're doing that, I'll do an introduction. So Mohammed has been here in Dubai for the last 11, 12 years. He's been in banking, so I'm really interested to see what he's going to say. He's built a business which is about how to invoice using this technology. We're going to hear how he does that and how he's already got existing customers here in the marketplace. And he's been doing this for the last couple of years. How this is going to work, he's going to give a short description of what he's doing. And then we're going to have a short panel discussion, correct? There you go.
Hello.
Over to you, Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Angus, for a kind introduction. And just to set things straight, it's going to be around 15 to 20 minutes when I'll be presenting you about this new ecosystem which we are coming up based on a document named as invoices. I know everyone is dealing with invoices, but in a very different way, we are trying to bring value through the invoices. And then after that, I'll be inviting some of the experts from the blockchain space so that we can discuss what happened during the 2022 and what is expected in 2023 in the space of blockchain and fintech. And of course, not to forget Metaverse. Right, so that's me. I'm the CEO, and I generally call myself as Chief Mate. So Mate is a friend. So I'm a chief friend of my clients, and this is how I would like to pitch in. And Mate Solution is our company. Our flagship product is InvoiceMate. So something about InvoiceMate I'll be discussing in next 20 odd minutes. So here we go. The tagline can suggest you what kind of ecosystem we are building in. Trusted and efficient partner for KYI. I know everyone has already heard about KYC, know your customer. Banks, financial institutions, they all need that for serving their customers effectively. But moving forward, we believe that banks would need KYI to serve their invoice financing customers. How come? First of all, this is the current situation of invoice financing market. Overall, $7.83 trillion market is for the global financing. But if you see the share of invoice financing, it's not even 0.5%. Not even 0.5%. Why is that so? And also the growth, if you can see the comparison, is not of the same level. Where is the gap? This is the gap. Basically, there are 4 major challenges, especially on the side of the trust, especially on the side of the fraud. Unfortunately, this space is full of scams. There are scams with the tempered invoices, overvaluation, credential changing, and so on and so forth. And this is a regular thing happening in the industry that makes banks not to do invoice financing. So they are challenged with these fake and fraud-based issues That's why they're not doing it. So the solution is that they have to go through with this long and tedious due diligence cycle to come up with the credibility and authenticity of the invoice. That's not easy. That's costly for them. That's why we are coming up with this Know Your Invoice service. Know Your Invoice service is basically to help them do quick and trusted, secured invoice financing. How come? Now, when we do the whole steps of the journey of the invoices, we put on the blockchain. Starting from the creation part, to the publishing, to the reviews, approvals, each step of the journey of invoice goes on chain. And that's the beauty of it, that once it is visible to every player that is concerned with the invoice financing, this cannot be tampered. This cannot be, like, again, faked out. So there is a trusted layer, that is the blockchain, which is available here. This is the whole cycle, that all of the supporting documents, all of the steps which involves the invoicing goes on chain. Now, we have a value proposition for the banks. We are working with the banks. How come? So the banks have some corporate clients and trusted clients of tier 1 level, and they are also working with their vendors, but with the normal invoicing. How we are changing that, we are doing those invoices on InvoiceMate, and that is giving the layer of data to the bank, and also we are providing them the risk profiling, the invoice verification, and at the same time some algorithms to do the credit scores for the vendors. So this is a quick and instantaneous way to do invoice financing, and that's the cycle we are bringing in. Now, where is the value for InvoiceMate for the banks? It gives them the insights and for a quick due diligence of the invoices. At the same time, it's a fraud resilient. Fraud is the biggest remedy that blockchain solves. This is the main objective here. Every technology has some value. Like AI brings the value of the productivity, of the efficiency, and at the same time, IoT is bringing the value of connectivity. Big data brings the value of data analytics, decision making. Blockchain has one value, and that value is trust. That value is fraud resilience. So the processes, the data that goes on blockchain remains immutable. You cannot easily tamper that. And again, with this, in the space of invoicing, that is a big issue. So we are plugging that. What about our clients? So who are the clients? Those who can use it for the invoice processing, those who can use it for the invoice financing. Clients always face the issue of cash flow. And again, with this very disruptive model, we are trying to solve this issue of the cash flow for them. Another very important point is financial inclusion. Most of the banks, they entertain for financing only the corporates. SMEs, micro businesses, they generally miss out. Again, this is our objective. We are taking 4 of the United Nations sustainability goals. You cannot remain sustainable. The world cannot remain sustainable until and unless micro businesses, small businesses are having the financial inclusion. So this is one of the objectives of our project, that we want to bring financial inclusion. This is how we are achieving it. We are connecting each dot of the ecosystem of the invoicing, starting from the functional sides, the accounts, the other players who are involved in the reviews and approvals of the invoices on the chain. And if you see on your right side of the screen, ConnectMate is the module of this project which connects it with the legacy systems. PayMate is the integrator for the payment gateways like Stripe, like the online payment channels of different banks, so on and so forth. And lastly, FinMate. We are partnering with the banks so they can facilitate the invoice financing applications. Alone, blockchain cannot solve all the problems. So so many other differentiators that are bringing the value to the clients which are using InvoiceMate, which includes the complete messenger app, which includes the AI-based bot, so on and so forth. We have two versions. Lite is for the SMEs and the micro businesses, the freelancers, and the corporates can use our Pro version. It's just like we took it from the iPhone, basically. Already, as Angus mentioned, we are in the revenues. We have commercial clients, and those clients are, one of them is Saudi government entity, that is the Saudi Agriculture and Livestock Investment Company. So they've been using us for last 8-9 months. We have recently done a case study with them, and these are the results of that case study, which how their reviewers, approvers are getting benefit, how their suppliers or vendors who are using this app are gaining benefits, and at the same time, how the company's CEO, leadership, and others are getting benefits out of it. There are other implementations in Canada and other parts of the world as well. When you do the benchmarking of InvoiceMate with the other invoice processing system, again, we tick most of the boxes. We are the world's only blockchain-powered invoice management system till date. Now, where are we now in terms of our partnerships? We are now doing the institutional partnerships. One of our institutional partnership is with the JS Bank and the Zindagi, which is a digital bank in Pakistan. So that is already up and going, and we are trying to bringing this as a SME product to the market of the Pakistan. We have another Pakistani bank which we have partnered, that is Silk Bank. They are also launching the SME-based invoice financing products on InvoiceMate. Jazz is our flagship partnership till date. They are the leading telco in Pakistan, and they are bringing implementing InvoiceMate in their system, and also for the Pakistan-wide adoption, they are doing it. We also have partnerships with the government entities. That's the model for that one. We are bringing this as a first enterprise application on the metaverse as well. This is just in the early stage, been in the development phase, and will be, I think, in the next 3 to 4 months, we'll be ready to showcase the metaverse version of the InvoiceMate. Last but not the least, this is the amazing team which is helping me to bring this very transformative solution to the world. And inshallah, in like next few minutes, I will bring some of them, and of course others as well, to discuss more about the blockchain in general and where the space of blockchain is going and how it's progressing and moving forward. With that, I will finish my presentation for the InvoiceMate, and will invite if there is a question relevant to the InvoiceMate before I invite my panelists to come on stage and we start discussing about their journeys in the space of blockchain and what their future is lying in the space of blockchain.
Questions from the audience. My question, Mohammed. You're already engaged with the banks here. Where do you see the industry in 2 years? Because you're turning something fairly mundane, invoicing, into something efficient, right? But what do you see happening in the marketplace? Because you're working with banks, and
yes.
Here you are talking about a blockchain project.
Yes, thank you very much for this great question. It's like, again, you need to, when I say transformative, we need to change people, how they perceive about invoices, right? Invoices for many is just a document to be sent to the client, and then they need to gain some kind of a payment out of that. But no, you can use it as a collateral. Banks are avoiding to use invoice as a collateral for a reason, because they have been burnt by many. We recently have some fraud which helped, or not helped, rather, they impacted big loss to the banks. Now with this InvoiceMate as a partner, they can bring up a lot of value and get the fraud resilience for their invoice processing financing options.
So, any other questions? Yes.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. Can you talk us through the technical component and particularly how you're using blockchain?
Right, thank you again. Okay, first part is that what is the value of blockchain? Can it run without blockchain? Yes, there are 363 invoice processing softwares in the world. Many of the ERPs are also giving option to run the invoicing processing on them. Why we are trying to come up with the new invoice processing software? That is the value of the blockchain. First of all, why blockchain? Because again, if you'll put the whole process of invoicing, starting from the creation, it's supporting documents like delivery notes, inspection reports, other things. There is a reconciliation which is done by the blockchain itself. So the vendor and client, they are not getting into the issue of the reconciliation after every 6 weeks or 6 months. That's a very basic reason. But at the same time, this blockchain-powered invoicing gives the authenticity to that invoice. And that piece is very important for the bank because now they take 20 days to do the due diligence on the invoice financing and then issue some kind of a credit to their, based on that collateral. With blockchain, again, they know that this whole journey is not been tampered with because that's what generally, if I'm friend of the lady and I'm asking, okay, we are doing a transaction and we can fake that transaction to the banker and banker has to go through with a very tedious cycle of that. So with blockchain, again, every step of the journey is going on chain and ensuring that we have done nothing wrong with the numbers in that we have not overvalued it. The transaction could be of 50,000. We can just add zeros because of the centralized system we are doing. Paper or database, both can be tampered, both can be changed, right? But if the whole ecosystem is connected with the blockchain, at least 51% of the ecosystem has to agree that if there is a change. So the blockchain component is vital to bring this new angle to the invoicing, which is that helping to the bank for the invoice financing part. Do you have a follow-up question on that?
So I'm interested to understand the know your customer methodologies at the start of the process, because you could put something into the chain that's, as you say, collaborated on. So perhaps maybe how are you using the know your customer technology
Yes.
to actually have the entry process be authenticated?
Absolutely. We do start with the KYC. Of course, the banks already have that layer. That's why I'm not emphasizing through InvoiceMate we can do, but most of the banks, they already have KYC layer with them in-house or they take some service. So they need the next level, which is the verification of the document itself, that is the invoice. So that layer we are providing them through the InvoiceMate. That piece is with us. Any other question, please? Before we move on to our panel discussion. All set? Shall we? Yeah. Okay, I'll take question, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, can the Meet Invoice be integrated with the SAP system or procurement system in general?
Yes, very good question. Yes, we can integrate InvoiceMate with any ERP, any accounting package, including SAP. We did, the project of ours was with Salik. Salik was using Oracle Fusion, so we have already integrated this successfully with the Oracle Fusions. With SAP also, it's very much doable.
Okay, thank you.
Any further question, please? All right, so we move on. Unfortunately, we don't have the slide for the panel discussion, but this is what we will be doing in next 45 minutes. And I'll be inviting maybe 2 or potentially 3 different panelists. So for the first, I'll be asking all the 3 ladies to come on stage, and we will be discussing about very important component of women inclusion in the technology in general and specifically in the space of blockchain. So I'll be gladly inviting, first of all, Miss Vasilisa Marinchuk. She is I'll ask her to introduce further about herself, what's her journey in the space. So she comes on. Okay, may we have the mic? Right. After her, lady in front of me, Nuha Shabak. Please come on stage. And a pleasure to invite her sister and also mine, Nahid Shabak. So we'll keep it very conversational and we'll welcome any question from your side. First of all, I'll ask them to briefly introduce themselves and their brief journey, how they came into the space of blockchain. Wazi.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. It's a pleasure to be here. It's actually my first GITEX. So my name is Vasilisa Marinchuk, as Mohammed said. I've been in industry in the blockchain space since 2016, so already some good 6 years. I actually started with payment solutions, providing prepaid cards back in 2016 to all the blockchain wallets. Later on, I realized that still we have to focus on adoption, which drove me to the point where we started our own conference, Democracy for All, Blockchain for Governance, giving the space an opportunity to look into the technology not only as a financial means, but showing that it can actually support the government, support enterprises and individuals to be more self-sovereign, to be more like democratic. Following that, I was one of the founding members of Blockchain Center of Catalonia, which is a pro-governmental body working under the roof of the Chamber of Commerce of Barcelona with one simple mission, adoption of blockchain. And here, I joined Mohammed on a very interesting team around the world with the BSV blockchain, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, as a head of partnerships, helping to grow this protocol further. Thank you.
We move on to the next panelist, Nuha. Please take it from
Thank you,
here.
Mohammed. Yes.
We have to.
Thank you, Mohammed. Pleasure to be here. This is Noha Chbak. I'm a marketing director for Settlement. Our booth is right there. So my journey with blockchain started in 2016 as well. While I was doing the research for my PhD, I'm working on social adoption and acceptability for new technologies, to be specific on proximity payments. So I was doing my research and I came across this video talking about how blockchain is supporting the elections in Indonesia. So it was a really turning point for me to see how this technology is supporting trust and transparency in such of trustless and really questionable scenario. So from that point, I decided to really focus my PhD and my research on this topic specifically. And the company that was doing that was Settlement, was the company that I'm working for now. So it was really in the back of my mind since then, and now I joined them as a marketing director. So it's really interesting for me to see how the market is evolving from 2016 till now. And for us, I will talk about it later more about Settlement. Yeah.
Sure, I'll be definitely asking about Settlement, how it is helping the developers to start their journey on blockchain. We move on to the next participant, that is Noha's sister, Nahid. Nahid, you, I think, is the most junior among the three ladies on stage.
Yes.
Very recently, you joined the space. Tell us more about what was the motivation behind it and how is it going since last 6 months?
Hello everyone, my name is Nahid Chbak. I'm Noha's sister, as you see. I'm so happy to speak here today and thank you all for coming. I joined blockchain space now 6 months ago. So since Noha joined the blockchain, so she was always the first a person who encouraged me to learn more and to educate myself about the blockchain technology. And after this, I joined a non-profit organization, which is a blockchain association. It's based in Switzerland, and we have the hub here in Dubai. What we do is educating developers, people from tech space and non-tech also. Women also can join us and can learn about the blockchain, even if they are coming from non-tech background, as is the same example. So yeah, I will be talking more about it. And by the way, I'm taking care of public relations and marketing.
Sure. We come back to Wezi. Wezi, you mentioned about your role in the CBCAT. Tell us more about that and more about like what's happening in the space of Spain and journal and also West overall.
Right. I mean, inherently, Barcelona was known as a place for tech and innovation. But it happened that blockchain somehow was quite a low profile technology for that space. So what we try to bring with the center is to work together hand in hand with the government, with chambers of commerces, with public institutions to help and bring this adoption to the people. I mean, the center operates literally 2 years from now. We started right in COVID times, so that was another challenge, but we managed. And with that challenge, we actually brought the first solution. So one of the first major projects of CBCAT was done together with International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, in the city of Girona. And the time of curfew, when the city was on lockdown and nobody was able to go anywhere except for grocery shopping, we did this simple app, not us, but with our partners, of course. The app allowed for a person to be attested in a pharmacy in a very secure way, putting his credentials into the blockchain and saving his private information only on his phone. But for anybody who wants to make sure that he's COVID-free, if it's a restaurant, a bar, a concert hall, he can present the QR code supporting this information without revealing his personal data as his name, like date of birth or anything. With this, we were running like a pilot over a month. Many events happened during that time. People who had no chance of going out used this application for the first time in their life, and it was easy for them. And they started to understand that they already using blockchain without being techie. That was the amazing part of it. I mean, eventually, all these studies are right now part of the ISO effort because we provided all the results to them as one of the use cases for the blockchain. And later on, even though like you all know that in EU you have a green passports which can be used in any 3 dimensions. It can be digital or non-digital, right? But still, that was, let's say, a pre-stage what we did in Girona. Right now we continue, and our big project is Catverse, which is a Catalan metaverse, which was born with simple idea. I mean, we're all moving towards digital. We're all moving to these metaverses, and they can be as global or as local as possible. But we really don't want to be anyone left behind because Catalonia, it's a region, but there's a very strong self-sovereignty inside, this understanding of identity of this region. Very different language, which is not exactly Spanish or French, it's Catalan, and very big heritage behind. So to save all that in the digital time, we're creating a separate Catverse which will preserve the culture and language of these people and definitely give the others from the outside opportunity to learn about this culture even without traveling necessarily to Catalonia.
Right.
So this project on this governance side will have the blockchain as an enabler layer, which must give opportunity to have property in that metaverse, to create art on that metaverse, to make transactions on that metaverse, in an easy and cheap way. So this is the main things we're doing right now.
Great. And I hope after cat verse there will be not many more dog verse or something. It's a Catalonia verse, right? Noha, you tell us about settlement, how it is helping the developers to start their journey on blockchain easily than writing a long codes.
Yeah, so settlement is, if I want to explain it very, very simply, I say that settlement is the same that WordPress does for websites, that's what we do for blockchain. So it's a #1 high-performance local platform for rapid blockchain innovation. So it's an automation and orchestration for the end-to-end blockchain journey. So for developers that are want to create a blockchain project, they have everything ready to use. It's just about modification and just change the structure of the. To adjust, exactly. It's just tweaking and adjusting. So we're talking about weeks' time instead of weeks and months' time, or even years for a blockchain project. So yeah, that's yeah.
Perfect. Right. About the women in blockchain thing, you've been helping the association with bringing more and more ladies. What is the appetite for the women in blockchain? What kind of a careers you can suggest them to be in this space?
Okay, since I don't have a tech background, as you know, blockchain seems
That's
to
important.
be.
Just to interrupt you here,
Yes.
that's very important to know that she's not having an out-and-out tech background, and
Exactly.
she's still in the space of the blockchain. So
Yes.
this is a big myth that in tech you only have to have a tech background to come in the space.
So I'm an economist, and I studied econometry and financial engineering. So it's definitely the opposite of blockchain, IT, technology, and I see you guys talking about smart contracts. What is these very difficult terms, and what I did is since I joined this non-profit organization, I was trying to educate myself and to educate other ladies in the Web3 space and out of Web3 space also. What I did is I organize for one workshop per month for these ladies, so they can join us, ask questions. In every single session, we discuss different topics. For example, metaverse, NFTs, blockchain, projects that have been done on blockchain, on metaverse. We have already done too many projects with the University of Sharjah, for example. We have also Dr. Alia Saadawi, she's a PhD. She has a PhD in blockchain technology from University of Sharjah, and she's the first lady who take this PhD degree in blockchain from the University of Sharjah in UAE. Yes, so that's it in general.
Right. Thank you very much, ladies, for bringing this color to our first session. And with that, I will like to thank you all, and we'll invite our next set of panelists to share more insights about this space of blockchain, what projects they are working on, and what about their next moves in this space next year. Thank you indeed.
Mohammed.
We now have, again, a very distinguished guest with us, and I will invite them one by one to share about their projects and their journey in the space and where they are moving forward from this point onwards. Starting with Mr. Jimmy Wynn.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Nguyen, and until about 10 days ago, I was president of the Global BSV Blockchain Association, for which Mohammed Salman leads our hub here in the Middle East and MENA region. And I have been in the blockchain space full-time for about 7 years after a 21-year career as a digital technology and IP lawyer and partner in major law firms in the United States. So I come at blockchain from a much more enterprise, government perspective than the digital asset community. And I'm really focused on building real useful applications. I left the role as president to start working on my own blockchain set of initiatives. I have a number of them around the world in the pipeline. I've launched a new company for myself based here in Dubai called Blockchain for All, which will provide advisory, education, and more importantly, technology solutions partners to actually help governments and enterprises make blockchain useful. Making blockchain useful, there's not enough of that for all kinds of use, all kinds of people, all countries. I was pleased to announce in Ras Al Khaimah 2 days ago when we had a blockchain event for the ruling family and government representatives there, my first major project, which is joining a team that is creating a set of metaverse-enabled physical theaters and multiplex sites. 5 global cities. London is the first, for which we've already secured $100 million in funding to build the first site, which will be in East London. It's designed to create an immersive theater experience where you can combine physical experiences and new types of entertainment and concerts and shows with a digital experience. It'll also have a metaverse studio within the site to provide services, what's called a volumetric studio, which will provide multiple cameras so that instead of getting a 2D image of people, you get a much more 3D rendering when you're doing video and live streaming, and also have the ability to provide educational services. Our second site we want to be here in the UAE, and we'll also progress to Sydney, Australia, Miami, the United States, and Singapore. So it's a big, big project which is designed to actually bring to life so you can see, not just talk about blockchain, and it'll be partnering with an AR and VR company in the United States that uses the BSV blockchain because of its big scale and big data capacity called Transmira to do the digital twinning that is necessary to create virtual renderings of physical spaces. So I'm excited to hopefully bring one of those sites to the UAE in the coming years, and that's one of the first major things I am doing in my new capacity.
Thank you very much for sharing whatever is happening. This is all valuable. As you started, that blockchain has to be useful, and I'm sure whatever you're bringing, that will be super useful. We move on to next guest, which is who is coming from, I think from London, but he's originally from Nigeria, and we'd like to ask him more about what he's been doing in the space and about his company, Dominion.
Thank you, Mohammed. So excited to be here today. My name is Mohammed Ibrahim Jega. I represent a company called Dominion, which is a portal for smart future. Dominion is set aside to help government and businesses transition from traditional data to blockchain. So we are a blockchain as a service company trying to help government and businesses optimize, increase efficiency, create transparency, and also increase revenue, which is what the most important thing every government wants to know. So we have projects around Africa. We're based out of London. We have offices in the US, Estonia, which is our R&D center, and as well as offices in Sierra Leone and Nigeria. So what we do is to see how do we help you move from stage C to stage A. We identify, we look at your projects and see how we could be able to bring in blockchain, integrate into it, and help it scale up. So we have interesting projects around supply chain, which we've done use cases around cargo tracking and port management system.
Can you raise the voice because...
Screen, okay. All right, sorry. So we have projects around supply chain, which has to do with cargo tracking. We have ports management system with government to be able to identify who is coming in and who is going out. And where goods are declared and been taken account of, you can alter that. Payments are being automated. So all the process end-to-end on blockchain, secured, transparent, and more efficient. So our second use case project is around land registry. We understand how land is very important in different governments. Some government land is with the people, and some places land is with the kings. So we help government optimize land operations in terms of certificates of occupancy, kind of revalidation, and where you can be able to apply for your CFO and other things you could do at the comfort of your desks. The government will also have the capacity to be able to understand who owns what and where, and be able to identify how they could tax you based on your identity, based on your wealth, based on your property. So that has really been helping in our implementation in Nigeria that we're doing in the state called Abia State. So our third use case is around identity, credential verification. We understand how important credentials are, and we understand the problem and issue around fake certificates and having duplicate issues, lack of verifiable, unverifiable certificates in different places. Employers having this headache, and schools that some people go for to do their postgraduate studies find it difficult to ascertain who really is this person's identity, and does he really own the certificates. So we came up with a solution that we partner with this company called GITEX to have a layer whereby you can verify your certificate with a click of a button. It gives companies, it gives institutions, it gives companies, institutions, government to verify individuals with a click of a button. Why am I saying this? Because we understand the capabilities and the opportunities blockchain has. Blockchain is an enabler. It helps bring efficiency. It brings optimized operations. So we are using it to impact and help government and businesses. Thank you.
Super great. So much is happening in your company about blockchain. We move on to Steve now. Steve, share us with about your project G2C.
So, how are you doing? I'm Steve. I'm based in Spain. I'm from Gate2Chain, and we make using the blockchain easy. So what we do is we've created a bunch of features where you can easily create a wallet on chain. You're able to create direct or conditional transactions between wallets. You can upload MetaNet objects, and then you can take those MetaNet objects and wrap them up in a legal framework and create tokens and NFTs. The value of this, also you can do payment channels. The idea is that you have two separate wallets, two users, and they could agree on a fee per minute, per 10 minutes, and a payment channel would open up during a video call, for example. That video call stays open, payments are being extracted into an escrow account, and when that video call is finalized, the payment goes from one wallet to the next wallet. The benefits of that is that the data is stored on-chain. So NFT, the legal framework, the legal requirements of that NFT are stored all on-chain. And we allow applications, existing apps, or new applications to use these features to start using the blockchain. So it's a really easy plug and play. You can go to gate2chain.com, you can register, you can get a free account, you can get up to 10,000 transactions per month to start off testing your apps. Some of the also another thing is interesting, you can start combining different features together. What you could do is you could create a token, you could wrap it up in a legal framework, make it like, to say, a STARS protocol that we're using, and then you could then put a conditional payment against that. So to test out all these features, what we've done is we've created an app called Minter.com. Minter.com is a marketplace where you can create tokens, you can buy and sell tokens, and those tokens can also be tickets to an event, could be a concert tickets, they can be physical NFTs, and you are able to use Minter to put in a royalty fee. You can charge 1% per resale, and all that data is stored on-chain. We've also integrated with Stripe. So now you're able to buy NFTs with your credit card, and you're able to purchase something on the blockchain, and the money will arrive to your bank account without having to go through crypto. So we feel that that's a real world use. And I encourage everyone to go check out our website, gate2chain.com. Thank you very much.
We all do that, and we move on to Mr. Pushkin Aga. Blockchain is again not only for the technology people. You need other pieces as well, and he brings another very valuable piece, that is the marketing and visibility. He runs his own events about blockchain. I'll ask him to tell more about that. But at the same time, I have a question for you, that you have been seeing so many blockchain companies reaching out to you for the sponsorship part, for the presentations and exhibitions and all that. Tell us, what do you see, how, like we are in the winter of the so-called crypto and all that. Is it a real winter? Is it moving towards the legit projects just showing up? So you've been meeting so many of the projects. That's why I'm putting this question to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mohammed. My name is Pushkin, and I am head of Vertex Events. We are based in Dubai, and we are doing this blockchain event for last 4 years. And as you said, that we are seeing the change in this market, and market is, I'm sure it's improving. And if I say this year is like we are almost 35 events in a month. We are having all
35 events in a month.
So October is full pack. So that shows that positivity, and market is improving. So I'm sure that something will be better.
And we call it a bear market or a winter.
Yeah.
That's not a winter statistics.
October and November is really jam-packed.
Right. We come on to our dear guest here next to me, Marcos. He runs his podcast. He is also having some other elements to his work. Tell us more about you and your work.
Hi, my name is Marcos Tinhita. I'm the podcast and communications lead at XE.com. So basically, my podcast is all about how cryptocurrencies and blockchain-based solutions are going to revolutionize the internet, information, and money. So my goal is to talk to the builders, the founders, the creators, who are using these technologies to increase our financial confidence, raise our human capital, and bring economic and financial freedom for the world. So yeah, that's what I do. And aside from the podcast, I also have my own little community called Coffee Crypto. Basically, it's a place where we get to celebrate with different developers and help each other. And I know starting your own project all by yourself can be a lonely road. So we help each other and improve ourselves, and yeah, just connect with each other. So, but other than that, I'm just a random guy on YouTube. That's it. So.
Just a random guy on YouTube. That's very humble. So one more question. Who was your favorite guest on your podcast till date?
Favorite guest? Obviously, this guy, he's the head of the BSV, MENA, and South Asia region. His name is Mohammed Salman Anjub. I don't know if you guys heard of him. I mean, amazing guy. He always focuses on BSV, the original Bitcoin, on scale, while everyone is all talking about the coin aspect of Bitcoin, the pump and dump. He's focusing on the bit aspect, the computational power, the scalability of what BSV can do.
He's just so handsome, too.
Oh, man, he's
blinding.
He's a sexy man beast right here, so.
I heard BSV is really sexy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So Jimmy, you are coming into as a blockchain for all, as a advisory and consultancy company, which will definitely bringing a lot of value to this ecosystem. Tell us what is your long-term vision and also the short-term one.
Long-term, I would like to get this industry past the point of being just obsessed with cryptocurrency trading and actually make applications that use blockchain for something useful. It's really simple. I've been in this industry for 7 years. I left my legal career where I helped navigate the growth of internet and digital technology since the 1990s to today. And I saw blockchain as the next wave of data infrastructure. And so why the products and companies I'm choosing to work with, I ask that question, what are you going to use blockchain to do that is more useful than if you didn't do it on blockchain? Because not everything needs a token. Not everything needs a new coin. Not all data needs to belong on the blockchain. So for example, I mentioned the big first project I'm working on, which is this set of metaverse technology-enabled physical theaters and multiplex sites. And when the team asked me to work with them, they're friends of mine I've known for a long time. One is a successful entrepreneur in the live entertainment and arena space, produced the global Dirty Dancing musical stage world tour, which became a billion-dollar franchise. And when I asked them, when they asked me to work with them, I said, well, what are you going to be using blockchain for, and how does it actually make the company, the business that is doing better? And they weren't exactly sure, to be honest, but we came up with some discussions using blockchain for the digital twinning of physical environments that need to interact with digital environments for a true metaverse, using payment currencies within the metaverse they'll create, using tokens, for example, tickets as NFTs, using streaming of music that could be blockchain enabled. But it was that conversation that led me to want to work with them. So ultimately, that's what I want. I want to make blockchain useful in all countries, aspects of the world, industries. Short term, I'm picking some projects like that. I've got 35 plus companies asking me to work with them. It's far too many. I've got a couple more that I will announce in the coming months, but I'm going for big scale. I'm tired of just coming to all these events and just talking about what blockchain can do, and none of us ever sees it. So let's get to work and make seeing as believing in the power of blockchain.
Power of blockchain. Wish you all the very best in your pursuit and powering the blockchain, powering the world with the blockchain. Jaga, you've been dealing with the governments. That's one of the very important questions. What kind of challenges you face in the adoption of blockchain in the government, especially when they want the blockchain, but at the same time they have some confusion about mixing it up with the crypto and other elements of security and all that reasons?
Thank you so much, Mohammed. It's a very interesting question. The fact is that there's a might around blockchain. And any government, when they hear blockchain, they get scared. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want you to even come close by, because they feel you're coming to do crypto. They don't know that blockchain has applications, which crypto is just one of them. So it's just a product of blockchain. So most important thing we do is about education, engagement. Education and engagement. We try as much as possible to put the business side aside, then talk about engaging them, educating them, sharing insights about blockchain, its various use cases, even bring sample of use cases from other countries, tell them what's really happening, the impact of blockchain, how blockchain is transforming, how the evolution of blockchain, how if they don't tap into blockchain, they're going to lose out. So you put that appetite, you build the appetite and also make them feel comfortable, then you can now bring in the different products. So we did that model in Africa, which is one of the emerging markets, and we see it working. First of all, when we came to talk to them about blockchain, they felt it's something they just see, they can imagine it. So guys, what's happening? So we organized the largest blockchain summit in Africa called Blockchain Developer Summit. My company did that. We had almost 2,000 participants in one room. We called the government to just come and listen, to come and see what's really happening, to come and hear from real value, real suspect stories, not unimaginable, not reading from research or coming to give them some historical news. No, we make sure there are people building blockchain who could come and share their stories. They love it. They were happy. They said, oh, is this real? So if this is real, we need to understand, how do we use it? How do we engage? How do we build it on this? Is it going to distort? Is it going to change? Then say, no, it's not going to change what you're doing. It's going to upscale it. It's going to optimize it. It's going to increase the efficiency and bring more transparency in what you're doing. It's not going to take you off your workers. They're going to still be there, because the fear is that a lot of people feel they're going to lose their jobs with blockchain. So we told them, no, we're going to train them, educate them.
You're going to get better jobs.
Better jobs, yeah. And they were going to work more smarter and more efficient. So that's it. So that's really make a lot of effects and brought value in what we're doing. And we're seeing now projects in different countries in Africa adopting and even looking at CBDC, which is the central bank digital currency. Nigeria has taken the lead. Gambia, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Guinea, all engaging and also trying to understand more about how they could tap into this next big thing. Last week I had a chat with the Minister of Land of Morocco. They're very, very happy about it. They confided in me that 2 years ago when they were approached about blockchain, they got scared. They told the guys, no, 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 you guys have to go. But now they opened their doors. We had a session at which they were very, very happy about it. They asked questions. We took out their fears. We gave them confidence that this is going to really help their work, going to make them more efficient and resourceful and bring more revenue because it will block leakages. That's it.
Great. Steve, what's ahead? Like you mentioned about your initiatives. We definitely will see them more on gate2chain.com. But you are in the Middle East. What are your plans for the Middle East?
I think I'll start off with agreeing with what you're saying and say something a little bit controversial, but we don't believe you need crypto to use blockchain. So one of our clients, True World, what they do is they upload data onto the blockchain, and we pay the blockchain miner directly in fiat. We pay them US dollars. So they tell us how much data we need. We tell them how much data we need. They tell us it's going to cost X amount, and we pay them in fiat. Then our customer, True World, pays us. And what they're doing is they've created a globe, which is called the observatory, world2chain.com. And what they've done is they've put 10,000 observatories uploading air quality data twice per day. And so that's an interesting way of using the blockchain to certify air quality data. It can be later on they're going to be uploading all the temperature data, ice level, sea level rises. And in regard to your question, what do I see opportunity here in Dubai? I think that using Gate2Chain, you're able to use it as a public ledger. You're able to record that information immutably and be able to do land deeds, be able to upload data and know that no one's going to tamper with it and change that data. And if government control those wallets become certified wallets, and that data becomes certified in its nature. So you're unable to corrupt the information. So I think that's a big opportunity. Thank you.
Indeed, and Middle East, of course, this region needs that. Pushkin, one last question with you, and then I'll open the questions for you for our house. You have planned something as an event. I think you're pushing it to the month of November. Tell us more about that when you are doing it, and what will be the core objective of that event.
Yeah, our next event is in November, 14th and 15th of November. And being an organizer, our aim is to connect projects with the end user and startups to the investors. That's the main objective of the event.
That's very good, and wish you all the very best for doing that.
Thank you.
Would love to ask you guys to ask questions to our panelists.
Ladies and gentlemen, one question.
It's more of a comment, really. Just, it's really great to hear use cases which isn't about cryptocurrency. I think it's just been such a Achilles heel of a technology which can really build governance, trust. So, yeah, so delighted to hear these use cases.
Thank you for this.
It's a reflection of the fact that the three of us here in the middle all are from the Bitcoin SV, BSV blockchain ecosystem. And while it may be provocative for certain reasons, the people who work in it are all very brought to the blockchain because it has the scalability and the usability to make these things real. Everyone who works in this ecosystem, you can't control everyone, but they are very, very focused on useful applications. So it's not that that doesn't happen in other blockchain ecosystems, but it's uniquely distinctive of the people who are attracted to BSV.
Right. Any other question, please?
You want to take your fears out, so speak out.
I have a question. which always come into my mind how blockchain will help. And like, like blockchain is about blocks keep increasing, So how, like, the number of blocks will increase, how big it can reach, and how can be controlled, like when big data is there. So storage will be difficult to handle. So
we get that question a lot because it's the reason the protocol developers behind BTC, the main Bitcoin chain, chose to keep the block capacity very small, which is why BTC never has fulfilled Bitcoin's original purpose to be an efficient electronic cash system. No one actually uses BTC really to pay for anything. It's become an investment asset. And their argument is, oh, you can't, if you make the block sizes too big to hold all this data, like these applications need, the blocks get so big that home users cannot run a node. That's the argument. There's a fallacy in that. The fallacy is that if you're a home user running a node on some of these other networks and you don't actually mine and contribute to the validation of transactions, you don't really do anything. You're just kind of listening to the blockchain. Satoshi always predicted in early writings that mining would grow into server farms. And as the block capacity grows, yes, the blockchain data size gets bigger and bigger. But Satoshi also designed a system that's not very read about in the Bitcoin white paper, which is something called simplified payment verification wallets, meaning every user on the network does not have to keep the entire blockchain. Right? Think about it this way. When you run your email inbox at home or on your computer, you don't have a copy of the entire world's email. You have an inbox with the emails relevant to you. And therefore, you can create what are called SPV wallets that limit basically the transaction data that you are interfacing with to that which is relevant to you. And in addition, not everyone needs to keep a copy of the full node of a blockchain. I predict a future, as blockchains contain more data, that people have specialized nodes. I will retain the data that is metadata, that is image data, video data, healthcare data, just like we do in today's data world. So I think there will be a specialization of nodes in the future, and all of us at home that think we need to run home nodes don't really need to. We really only, even companies that operate in the space, they only have to run wallets that are what Satoshi calls simplified payment verification, but it's really simplified data verification, limiting the data to the block headers that relate to your transaction set.
Yeah. Hi, gentlemen. I had a quick question when it comes to the crypto side of blockchain. With the advent of stable coins, right? Don't you think we're just headed for the same financial issues that are repetitive by nature, wherein you're tying stable coins to assets that have volatilities just like we see right now? So aren't we headed for a disaster because you're again doing the same thing every time there's a recession? The US goes with quantitative easing or some other stuff. They increase the repo rates, and that's how. And it's a cyclic thing. It's going to happen over and over and over again.
I'll take a stab at that. I think that at the end of the day, it's about trust. If people trust the government, they trust the issuing of that coin, they feel that there's value in a stable coin, they will use it and they will value it. If people don't, they might look for a stable coin that's backed by gold. Or if they value Bitcoin, they might say Bitcoin has the value. So it's wherever people place the value and the trust. So personally, you say the US dollar is really strong. People want to invest in the US dollar. If they made a stable coin, it might be the strongest stable coin. So it really is to do with trust. That's my take on it.
Let me address that because one of the companies I am working with, which hasn't been announced yet, is building a stablecoin business using BSV as the ledger for its efficiency for stablecoins. So we're confronting this issue now, since there's a lot of lack of trust now in stablecoins, especially after the Terra Luna collapse, which I think having an algorithmic stablecoin is just crazy in the first place. So yeah, when you create a stablecoin, you have to ask the question, if this coin, one unit, is worth $1 US, $1 British pound, how do we verify that? And most of the stablecoins out there now don't have full asset backing for the amount of monetary value minted. So our strategy to try and make this as trustworthy as possible is to use asset-backed bank guarantees, where there is a bank guarantee against every dollar or pound that's issuing the stable coin, with funds sitting in an actual bank that will issue a published bank guarantee. That's probably the very best you can do. It still raises the question, well, what backs the US dollar? But, you know, we're not getting to that. That's a central bank issue. That is the, I think, utmost highest level of trust you can do with stable coins. Most do something lower down the mix. But it's a, you know, it's all you can do is create the best systems that create the best trust to make something useful.
Right. We have one
Yeah.
last question, and then we'll wrap up.
Hello. Thank you so much for the great utilities you're building. I have a question. Having said all this utility, are you looking at improving, educating Africans? You know, because
Yes.
I'm a founder of
He's here.
I'm a founder of a cryptocurrency exchange in Africa.
Oh.
I know the challenge Africans are facing when it comes to crypto. And I do tell them, you don't necessarily need to trade to become successful in blockchain.
Yes, absolutely. The
Yes,
answer is
yeah.
yes. He's leading a lot of it. I've been helping as well in Africa, but you want to talk about what you're doing to educate Mohammed in Africa?
Education. So, you know, one person cannot do it. I know what I've been doing in Africa. So I think educating people in other areas like Solidity, other, you know, dApps and all, will liberate Africans from poverty. So what are you doing about that? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. For the network ecosystem I belong, Dominion belong, we are BSV ambassadors for Africa. And part of our mandate is to sensitize, engage, and also promote BSV and also its other value ecosystem companies about what it entails, its value proposition, and how companies, government, and individuals can tap into it and empower themselves. So what we're trying to do is to, I mentioned earlier that we do the other approach. We engage, we sensitize. Engagement means creating, we can talk to everybody on the tree. We have to call for participation. We have to call people in different cities. We've started now in Nigeria, where we're hoping to host another national conference, which is the biggest conference hosted by the government of Nigeria, because they've seen how important blockchain is. They created a day, a national day for Blockchain Day, where they want young people, people in government, public servants, business owners to come and sit down and learn about blockchain, ask questions. So that educational part is very important to us. And this, we intend to take this journey across Africa. Our roadmap for next year is Ghana, Kenya, Guinea-Conakry, Sudan, as well as Ethiopia. So that's our roadmap for next year. We intend to do 2 West Africa, 2 East Africa, and 1 North Africa next year. So we're taking this campaign to every nooks and cranny in Africa. We believe it's an emerging economy, youthful population, very hungry, ambitious. We need to engage them. We need to empower them. We need to give them the right information. We don't want them to go and take the wrong information. So that's why we're taking it upon ourselves to do more around sensitization. And there's an interesting story. Because of the success story we did in Nigeria, the government has mandated our company to train 30,000 Nigerians free on blockchain. 30,000. The vision is to do 300,000. So you can see what's education, engagement, the impact of it, positivity, results of it. We just did it July, and now we got that offer to do that training. So we think it's very important for us to go aggressively into other countries to do that same training, so that we can get to train young people, to give them certification, to have them, so that they can be able to earn, work, and do things on the blockchain.
Thank you indeed. Change precedes the awareness, and that's what the message is, that we need to educate more, not just Africa, the whole world about blockchain. its use cases, its utilities, not the pumps and dumps of the crypto trading side, so that there will be no volatility and just the utility. Thank you indeed for giving us so much of a time, and looking forward to a good luck for you for the next 4 days as well for the further GITEX. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to our very handsome moderator.
He's super handsome, isn't he, Mohammed? Yeah, thank you, Mohammed. So, our next presentation is starting immediately, and I'm very pleased, to welcome all the way from France, from Bordeaux via San Francisco, Benoit Boudier. Benoit has got a very interesting subject to cover today, which is Saibavo. Saibavo recently was bought by Circle. And if all of you know Circle, Circle is in fact, Circle is in fact the backer behind USDC. So here we go. We're going to talk about security platform, and I'm going to pass across to Benoit. Over to you, Benoit.
Thank you. Can we have the presentation, please?
Yeah, let's do a microphone test.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you for...
Hold it closer to your mouth.
Thank you for attending this session, everyone. So as mentioned, I'm Benoit Boudier, BD manager for Saibavo in EMEA. And what we're going to talk about right now is about custody, digital asset management custody, and security. So can I have the... Thank you. So quickly, to introduce you to Saibavo, what we do is we are a platform for direct custody and digital asset management. We provide an infrastructure for any type of company looking at to invest in digital asset or simply developed on Web3. So we are an MPC-based solution, so multi-party computing. If some of them are familiar with this tech, this is considered as a warm wallet. So most of the components are web-based, online, with part of it being protected by cryptographic technology. At the moment, we are around 85 plus, nearly to 100 enterprise clients, and we manage 2.5 billion monthly transaction volumes. So as a testament to the quality of the work we've been doing since 2018, so as mentioned, Circle, the US-based company behind USDC, acquired us earlier this year in August to literally implement and deploy our wallet infrastructure to the global USDC environment. So what will happen is that they created this fourth pillar that will be dedicated for every company looking at to deploy, develop, and work on the Web3 world. So looking at the security, what actually security means in blockchain. As some of you may know, it's all about the private key management. Access to the private key is access to the fund themselves. And managing those private keys is something that is extremely new in the investing world and development world in general. We are facing all of the traditional risk from any kind of software development, from hackers, scam, rogue insiders, but all of these risks are embodied, are decoupled by the fact that now in Web3, information is actually fund. We can transfer value at the internet speed. And so if you have any issue on any of those fronts, the consequences can literally be a business go down. The rogue insider issue, for example, here we're talking about employees, we're talking about business partners, anyone that needs to have access to those funds. In the traditional world, they would need to have access to your bank account, which wouldn't happen. Well, in Web3, they need to have access to the fund to just do their job. So how do you make sure internally that you have the right process for people to work with those funds without putting them at risk? Regarding the existing solution, well, the more popular one would be definitely hot wallet and cold wallet. I won't name any company, but you can definitely see who those companies are. And then in addition to that, we have the custodian and the HSMs. So the problem we identified with those solutions is that they're either too expensive, they require a high level of technical knowledge, or they're just not suitable for companies. In addition, what we actually identified and what we believe fundamental is that there has to be a difference between the right to use versus the responsibility to secure the private keys. You cannot ask a CFO to have the cybersecurity background to protect private keys. You cannot ask employees to actually own the process of protecting the company funds. And finally, business owners, they need to have a way to track those funds. They need to have a way to enforce internal policies. And so that's what we're trying to achieve with our platform that looks like exactly this. So it's an online platform that put together everything there is to look after when you want to work and develop on Web3. We have, so this component, which would be this platform you access online, works together with our authenticating app. This app was developed in-house, and it's the authenticator that people will use to validate transaction, validate wallet creation, validate wallet policies. So you trigger a transaction on the platform, and based on the policies that you guys are going to set up internally, people will receive notification, push-up notification saying, hey, you have this employee trying to send 5 Bitcoin over there. Do you validate? And you can have multiple people involved at multiple levels, from 0 to 1, 1 to 5, etc., etc. So it's, as I mentioned, it's a warm wallet because it's MPC-based, so it's a cloud technology. And it's a turnkey solution. You literally can have access to that in 24 hours and set up all of your blockchain operation in there. In addition, we have a SaaS approach, an on-premises approach, which is quite unique in the industry because we're going to deploy all of the private key on our clients' infrastructure. So technically, they are self-hosted. They have the keys on their side, and we're just the technology provider, helping them to develop and invest in blockchain. So this is a concrete example of one of the many, many features we actually have. And today, with a short presentation, we simply go through this one. So this is our multi-level approval process. So in our infrastructure, we have 4 different types of users. We have wallet creators who are going to be admins. These guys, they create the wallet, and they set up who can do what on this wallet. For example, this wallet can trade up to 5 Bitcoin per day and 200 transactions. And you can have one wallet made for every single type of usage. Internal treasury, product development, whatever. All these wallets will have specific role, and we actually have many, many different type of wallets that I'm happy to introduce you to, if you'd like, to really perform whatever jobs they need. In addition, so you have the wallet creator, then you have the operator. Operator is the person that needs to send out transactions. Again, to do treasury, to do product development. Then, once this person sends out the transaction, it goes into an approval chain. These people, they don't need to be involved in the transaction themselves for their own job. These are managers, directors, executive, and you can go up to 15 level different level approval. 0 to 1 Bitcoin, 1 to 5 Bitcoin, 5 to 10. And you can have a M of N approval chain. So you say 2 out of 3, 1 out of 2. And it's extremely granular. So this is the best solution to mitigate the risk we just saw earlier around rogue insider. This is how you can make sure that no one in your company is going to mess up with your crypto, literally. And then you have the final role, which is auditor. Well, you know, you're still a company. You still have reporting activity. You still have balance sheet report to run. And most of this time, those finance department, they don't like to go too crazy into new tech, whatever. So what we do is we give them a view-only mode. They go into the Cybervo platform. They say, I want to see all of the activity for the last months in USD, in euro, in whatever currency you need. They run the report. They do the reporting. Done. Everything is easy. So if we look at a traditional company looking to invest or work on blockchain, this is the traditional situation. It's actually fairly easy to go on exchange, to go wherever, buy crypto, or saying, hey, I'm going to start an NFT marketplace. But once you took this step, well, you have a whole bunch of questions you got to answer, and that are extremely specific to blockchain. So how do you mitigate user error? How do you protect the private key? This is really the first question to ask. But then, how do you ensure regulatory compliance? How do you make sure that you have a way to track your transaction every day, but you are also being able to scale up and service millions of users while still managing your back-end operations? And that's what we aim to be. We aim to be this layer, this fundamental layer of security that is going to enable any company, again, that is looking to invest in blockchain or developed on blockchain to really focus on their added value activities. Like, there's no added value in protecting the private keys, really, let's be honest. There's no added value in having some awesome compliance tool. However, it is existential to the company, because if you don't do that well, you go out of business. So our goal is to be this layer where we're going to do it all. We're going to do this private security management. We have gas fees optimization tool. We have smart contract integration with API interaction that you can set up and protect. You have DeFi, NFT, etc. So we give you this toolbox to anyone, and you can focus on doing literally your job. So if we take a step back, this is more or less the standard process, again, of a company looking at to get involved. So the first step is definitely private key management. So how am I going to manage those private keys? What is the right solution for me? The second one is infrastructure. How am I going to set up this blockchain operation and integrate them into my company, my infrastructure? Then once this is set up, how am I going to integrate that with the ecosystem out there? What is the right ecosystem for me? Is it NFT? Is it DeFi? Is it smart contract? Again, we've offered all of that, and it will be a strategic decision for you to have and say, okay, this is where we're going to go. And once you have all of this set up, well, you have to scale up, right? Like, you have to find a way to service thousands of companies, millions of end users. And that's where we have also the solution with API integrated component. As I mentioned, purpose-built wallet types. So we have wallet types that are dedicated to some activities, some for treasury, some for virtual account online that you can interact with APIs. All these kind of things we would obviously help, and we help our customers to set this up. But this is the process most companies will have to go through. So in a short words, as mentioned at the top, our goal is firstly to mitigate any risks that you would be facing by investing or building on blockchain. We have to save time and money, because this is the whole-in-one solution, looking at everything there is to look at in blockchain. And then boost scalability, because scaling, when we're talking about so many problematic, can be a big issue. And that's what our platform can do. So this is the four main products right now that we are providing. So the first one would be a Vault, which is a manual-only component, mostly for treasury management. This is a beautiful product for any company looking at to invest in blockchain, but want to have a reliable and secured internal process. They know they're going to have 5 people who have access to these assets, and everything is set up by your wallet policies. And it takes on most of the different aspects. As I mentioned, smart contract, NFT, staking, DeFi, name it. Then we have the cash flow manager with that we actually built on the top of the Vault. And this is where all of your APIs are going to fit in. This is how you're going to be able to generate thousands of deposits per day. You're going to be able to optimize all of your transactions, the gas fees, set up those virtual accounts. This is one infrastructure we have. On the side of that, we also have a wallet SDK for any company looking at to develop a mobile app crypto. White label solution, if you want to integrate a mobile app wallet, or if you want to launch your own mobile app wallet, you can use this SDK. And with that, you cut down costs, and you actually boost mass adoption. Because this is not based on seed phrase, this is based on the PIN. A PIN that you can quickly reset if anyone are losing this PIN, which in most cases it will happen to most consumers out there. And finally, we have the private chain, which is a beautiful solution for any global company that is looking to have an instant settlement layer internal for any kind of internal payment, consolidation of account, actually even providers payment, HR payment, well, name it. You can set up this private chain, it's gas-free, and you can literally maximize the blockchain, the power of the blockchain with all of your internal operation. And as a final note, and this is maybe one of the most important things you would ask is, okay, but what do you guys support in terms of blockchain? There is so many of them. I just met a new layer 1 that I never heard about, and there's new coming up every day. So, well, our job here is to be totally blockchain agnostic and really support as many as possible for anyone looking at to build. So we do, at the same time, support individual token, but then we also go into token support. Maybe you want to build an ERC20. Maybe you want to build on Solana. We support those standards so you can quickly, literally integrate those, import those currencies into your system and work on that and start developing. Finally, we have the staking support that, well, with the state of the market today, staking is getting more and more popular. So we're working really hard on that and providing the capabilities for any company to stake their favorite coins. So to conclude, I understand this was quite a quick walkthrough around what we do. But what I want to really emphasize here is that the top priority for everyone here is security. Like, we know it. When you look at blockchain, Web3, you see those hacks. We just saw another major hack a couple of days ago, 100 million onto one of the major actors, actually. So no one is protected against that. And so the first thing you will ask is, how do I protect my fund? How do I integrate my blockchain activities, my investment, to what I've been traditionally doing for the last 10 years or what I want to do in the next 5 years? And so this is what we aim to be again. Like, we aim to be this layer of security that if you want to build on this and want to have the peace of mind, knowing that I have the right setup, I'm starting on the right foot to go beyond and scale, this is what we would like to do. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Questions? What questions you have for Benoit? Okay.
Hello. Thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't quite follow the presentation.
Okay.
Yes, because I was busy somewhere.
No
but
problem.
I saw something that will interest me. So I want to know that, are you guys a service solution for exchange? Or like you are a crypto exchange, or you are a solution for exchange? That's what I want to know.
Actually, our solution was developed for crypto exchanges in the first place. Crypto exchanges were our first client in Asia. Company was founded in Singapore. It's based out of Singapore and Taiwan now. And we have a beautiful fund flow for exchanges going with API integration. You generate your user funds. You can consolidate at the end of the day into the vault. You generate at the same time thousands of withdrawal per day. Beautiful stuff for exchanges. It was actually tailor-made. In addition to that, we developed a lot of additional solutions for NFT marketplaces, GameFi company, traditional finance. In Circle acquired us, we're talking more and more with tier 1 banks, regional banks, hedge funds. So we're tailoring now our solution to these guys. But first place, exchanges were our first clients. Absolutely.
All right, thank you. So I think I'll be interested.
Absolutely. You asked a question on the one before. You're working in Africa, right? You have an African-based exchange. I'd love to. I'm looking after the African region, and there's a lot of exciting stuff happening in Eastern Africa, in South Africa, Ethiopia, etc. So very excited. Would be really happy to.
I have another question. I also joined quite late. Sorry for that. The question is, can we, for example, having our in-house solution running this DeFi strategy, using your solution to manage it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, well, the biggest question there is when I have this type of conversation is we have 10 different ways to do every single thing in our system. So, yes. But then how? We can have a very long and different conversation together and figure out how it would be best fit you. Would it through a mobile app wallet? Would it be through virtual account? Would it be through some sort of omnibus account? There's a lot of philosophical question and strategy question to be answered.
Yeah, so I will come to your booth and I'd like to discuss it.
We'll be happy to, absolutely.
So Benoit, I've got a question for you. So tell me what you think Saibava is going to be in a couple of years from now. You know, what do you think you're going to be in the next couple of years? Having been acquired by Circle, which is hugely significant.
Honestly, no idea. We're going to be, what we know is we're going to be this specialist provider for Web3 developer. Circle has been working with major financial institutions like American government. They're focusing on going from USD to USDC and then using this settlement layer of USDC and taking advantage of crypto. However, they acquired us because they had no solution for any type of wallet, on-chain wallet. Companies were going to them and say, hey, I want to use USDC to settle my payment with my providers. Can I do that and pay people around the globe? Yes, you can. You go through a Circle account with an API, payments API, and you can settle your payment instantly around the globe. However, the next question was, okay, can I have a wallet for my company? And can I integrate that with my standard process? And it was no until now, and this is what we will do. We will be this wallet infrastructure literally powering the USDC, and soon, I can't wait, the Eurocoin, and all of the G10 currencies, hopefully, that will be tokenized, and we will be this wallet infrastructure looking at everything there is to do on Web3.
Okay, one last question then. You said there are basically 4 different products today. If I want to buy the product, how do you license, or how do you sell those products today?
Well, we sell them globally, and to be transparent, we don't have any license, because one of the issue with regulators, and this is not an isolated case, is that they're actually unfamiliar with the tech we're deploying. They know cold wallet, they know hot wallet, but you talk about MPC-based solution and actually digital asset custody technology. That's what we do. We actually don't have access to the asset. Like a custodian is someone who is supposed to have access to the asset. You're putting your gold to a custody, you're putting your fine art, whatever. These guys, they have your assets and they have access to it. We don't. All of this is in a cold zone, cryptographically protected part that is in our infrastructure, but we don't have access to it. Even worse, when we're looking at on-premises deployment that I mentioned, that is extremely powerful in many different ways. I won't take the time to present them now, but happy to present anytime. We deploy the private key on the client side. So like how the regulators are seeing that right now, they don't know. Circle have literally an army of lawyers. Like their job is to work with American government, big institution. And they told us, we don't need a license right now. This is literally something that is not being addressed because technology is so new and use cases are so new. So we're keeping a look at that. We obviously make sure that we're compliant. Circle is a company that is compliance and safety first. So if this change, we will definitely get licensed. But at the moment, we can do more or less global outreach more or less freely.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, any other questions? I must say I have been really well educated during this presentation, and I would like to place my order now. But if anyone else would like to, we're going to take a short break. I would like to just thank Benoit for this presentation. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll take a 2-minute break. We're going to just change the table before the next presentation.